evening, campers, and welcome to the one, the only, the original Midnight's Edge After Dark. I am Tom Connors, and with me, as always, is my partner in crime, Mike, the Mexican Iron Man. How you doing?
I had a very productive day, Tom.
That is good. That is very good.
And guess what I got? Real quick. Guess
what?
I got another 4K player for the other room in the house.
You did?
Yay!
That's nice. Yeah, it's a good thing because I'm sure after a while they'll quit making them, or at least not in so many. They won't be as easily accessible anyway.
Well, you should have something coming tomorrow that you can watch on it now, Mike.
Is that a hint? Are you getting something from Valiant?
Yep. Super excited.
Well, we'll have to ask Valiant what that is, but we'll wait till we get to him because I got to introduce my other partner in crime, the fifth Beatle of Midnight's Edge, Mr. Script Doctor. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Good evening, everybody.
So glad to have you here as always. And speaking of fifth Beatles, we have our fair-haired stepchild Culture Casino with us as well. You're muted. Or you're pretending to be muted.
No, hey. Yeah. There are too many mute buttons on my side of the desk. I just want to say, hey, thanks for having me. It's great to be here. And as always, I'm sure we're going to get in lots of trouble at Words this year.
Oh, yes, we will. And I'm glad you're here. Culture, you've been helping out a lot since Jesse's been on vacation, so I'm so glad you've been hanging in there. And also hanging in there with us, our other, I don't know, what would we call him? He's our sexy, smooth-voiced
He's our monster.
He's
renegade. He's the monster. He's the official Midnight's Edge monster truck DJ, because that's what...
Sure.
Sunday, or Thursday, whatever it is. Yeah, so, hey!
Good to see you guys. And a matinee on Saturday.
And a matinee.
Bring the kids.
Absolutely.
So yes, Valiant Renegade is here. But our special guest tonight, of course, is the one, the only, my boy, with an I, B-O-I, my boy, Ords. How you doing? That's what I expected.
Wait, what's going? Hey, everybody! Oh shit, we're live. Hey, everybody! What's going on, man? Thank you for having me, Tom. And I love Midnight's. What is it again? Where are we at?
It's Midnight's Edge After Dark, Ords. After Dark.
That's right. So wait, it's past midnight right now?
No.
Yes.
No.
Oh shit. Anyway, man. Anyway, no, it's an absolute honor to be here. You know, Tom, we never get to hang out enough, and we got to hang out more. And my gosh, Mexican Iron Man, I love you. I'm your biggest fan. I just got to say.
No, I love you more, dude. Hail connection.
Get out of here. Anyway, of course, my boy Valiant Renegade, my arch nemesis in the chats, I should say. My brother of the Heritage Menace, Culture Casino. And like, I consider this person like a close cousin. My boy Script Doctor, right? Like, he's family to me. So thank you for having me, man.
Thank you, sir.
It's an honor to be here.
I know how that is. I bet you if I had a couch, he'd be sleeping on it like Mike.
True story.
And I just want to welcome Goddess of Whim 6. We got Griffin Turbo. We got David Raposo. We've got Lindsay in the chat. We've got Sander in the chat. We got D-Bud Martin hanging out. Welcome, Durbin McQuaid. I saw, I think it was Chris Persia, or however you say it, is a member now. Thank you so much for being a member. We appreciate that.
Very nice. Very nice. Congratulations.
Is it Chris PRSA or is it Chris Persia? I've always said Chris Persia.
That's always I've heard.
That's the sexy way to say it. That's
Chris Persia is one of the wrenches of all wrenches, and he gets a He gets a member stomp and a
maximum effort puppy.
I do like
maximum.
Yeah.
Yes!
Maximum effort puppy.
That dog is getting it.
How did you come up with the maximum minimum effort puppy concept? Those are the best ever.
It just came to me. I get inspiration. I seen the video and I'm like, that puppy's showing maximum effort, or that's a lazy puppy, or
that's an Oscar-worthy puppy.
Oscar-worthy performance out of a puppy. Yeah, speaking
of... I mean, like, that dog is living its best life. Don't lie, right? Like, God, man, that dog's living a better life than me.
Like, look at this. Oscar-winning puppy, man. I mean, how can you go wrong? Who doesn't want that dog?
Oh, come on. Where's the
applause for that one? He sells it.
Oh, look, the way the head goes back and he goes to the right.
Sells it.
Oh, my God.
Just... And yeah, Ords made it. Last time he had internet issues, it actually wasn't pot.
Yeah, it wasn't, man. Well, I mean, the thing was, is like when your internet's down, like all there is to do is smoke pot. So I definitely did my fair share of that. But
That's true, and I'm not gonna fault you for that because
pieces of the house got ripped off, man. Pieces of the house got ripped off.
Oh,
so these storms were crazy, man. Like I was sitting there playing Xbox, and I look back and I look out the window, and I'm like, "What the hell is going on right now, man?" Trees like bent over, and yeah, it was nuts.
What state are you
about
in?
to get one in 2 days, so yeah.
I'm in Illinois. I'm like Northern Illinois. I'm like almost 2 hours from Tom. About 2 hours from Tom.
Yeah, I can't believe you guys got hit that hard. We didn't get hit that hard. I mean, we got some rain, but
yeah, my sister got hail this afternoon actually in her area, and she's only about 2 hours from me.
Yeah,
damn, dude. Stephen Otten's here though, and he sends us a $5 super chat, and thank you so much for being a member. Says, "Hail Tom, Mike, Script, Valiant Culture, Ords, Boards, or many wrenches and chat. Been blocked by anybody on Twitter today? I seen that some people were talking about getting blocked on Twitter by
the comic book guy, huh?
Yeah, the comic book guy.
Slot.
Are you smoking too?
No, I just
damn it, Mike.
No, I'm eating sunflower. No, I'm eating. I don't. You know, I don't do
bullshit. Share.
Puff puff pass.
Yeah.
Oh my god. You know what? Look. You know what? Since you guys are trying to comment, look. I'm having sunflower seeds.
He's trying to kill himself on stream.
Those are hemp seeds. Stop lying.
That's what I was thinking.
Look, it's got a poly on the back. I saw it.
Chef Nation knows what this is all about. She's blazed and ready to go.
What I'm talking about.
Wes, I was hanging out with Wes last night. It was good to hang out with you again.
I got to meet Wes in Vegas. It was awesome.
And we're gonna have to bring you in. Yeah,
Wes is awesome.
I'm so jelly you guys got to go and I didn't. It sucks so bad.
Hail Wes! Hail Wes!
Dan Slott. That's who it was. Yeah, I couldn't remember.
Yeah, he does. He stalks
Who the hell is
everybody.
Dan Slott?
I know the name.
Don't get me started.
Now own the car.
Yeah,
he's
one of the big two. I think Script. I don't remember.
Yeah, and he writes poorly now. He writes comics poorly now.
Oh, well, that happens. I mean, aren't all comics poor now?
Not the independent ones. The independent ones are really awesome.
Just thank God for back issues, man.
This is bored Corgi when he thinks about comics.
That's my Corgi because I'm bored. Get it? Oh, it's so adorable.
Board's Corgi. I gotta make a new one.
Board's
Corgi.
Corgi board Ords.
We
my God.
Yeah, I am blocked from Dan Slott. Okay.
I love how you said it so surprisingly.
That puppy is so cute. I may shit myself.
You want to see something cuter?
Oh my God. No, I can't handle it.
You can't handle any more cute? Well, check out Lazy Puppy.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I just shit myself. It's so cute. It hurts. Oh, look at the wrinkles.
Just wait till he turns around.
Oh my God. It's little butt wiggles. Ah. Oh my God.
He's got like zero fucks.
Why would you do this, bro?
Amber, if you're watching, please bring Ord some TP right now.
Oh
my God. Keep him in a good mood.
Yeah, they're gonna like make me geek out because I'm all baked and shit.
See, and Stephanie Janicek loves Lazy. Everybody loves Lazy Puppy.
Oh my God, I love
Lazy
Puppy.
Everybody loves it. Who doesn't want Lazy Puppy? He's so adorable.
I feel like I'm left out. I haven't been blocked by this guy yet.
That's because you're not in the comics game, dude. No, you.
Oh, now I gotta see.
I came into the internet world through Comicsgate originally.
What's his? I think I'm blocked because I don't know what his thing is.
I looked it up earlier today when I saw everybody on Twitter was talking about him. Like, who is this guy? I'm like, well,
maybe
I can
not.
still see him. So
no, I think I'm not. Wait, that's not the right guy.
I got blocked by him on my old Twitter ID. I should check to see if my new ID. I don't know.
Somebody's gonna have to tell me what his Twitter handle is.
I just put it in the private chat there.
Oh, did you? Okay. See, Grip's always on this shit.
Look, watch.
I'm blocked.
Hold on.
Yeah.
How fast do you think I could get blocked from him?
Oh, real quick.
Just tell him you're with Mexican
there's
Iron
only
Man.
2 genders. That usually gets it done real quick.
Just tweet something and tag him and say I heart Comicsgate. You got it, I think,
or something like that. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
So
just tweet at Dan Slott. Who are you?
And who are you?
Yeah.
And why should I care? Why did you ruin my comics, you fuckstick? No, deranged lunatic. I'm imagining this is a pooper sticker without even looking. 'Cause
You're
I'm
right.
pretty
You'd be
sure
correct.
there's
You would
only
be
two
correct.
people in this world.
I mean,
sound
who
like
blocks
this.
Mexican Iron Man? I'm like Mexican Iron Man is like positive and inspirational and oh wait, hold on. I'm triumphant.
You are a triumph.
I'm a triumph, right? I mean,
Triumph is a great dog. The comedian dog. I loved Triumph.
I like it like little Mexican Iron Man who
Shang-Chi
has
is a great movie. For
I
me
mean-
to poop on.
for me to poop on.
Oh, that was so good back in the day. Oh man, I used to piss myself watching Triumph.
They should have done a Triumph movie and just drove it into the ground. Then it would have
Dude,
been
that-
amazing.
Oh yeah, I would have been with
Yeah,
that.
I am still not blocked.
either
I'm
got
gonna have
blocked
to work
by
on
Dan-
that after the
Oh, you
show.
got to work on that, Valiant. It's because you got
gotta-
that smooth voice.
Well, after being on this show tonight, I probably by the time we get off, I'm fucked.
DJ
I'll be
Just
off.
say you're on Midnight's Edge after dark. Then
DJ
yeah.
Valiant, it would be he would be either a DJ puppy or a renegade puppy.
Well, I wish we were that famous that would get you blocked, but you could try. Stephanie Janachek, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Says we
Thanks,
need a
Steph.
German Shepherd puppy. I had one and she got big, and yeah, she's growed up. And she rule like her and the cat run the house. I just live and work here, right? Like that's how it works. Like, oh, even Rogue Disney says, see, some people are actually able to get blocked and they're see, going after everybody. Are you on blockchains? Perhaps it may have something to do with who you're also
Following.
Because I was gonna say, there ain't no way he gives a shit about us. So whatever.
You'd be
It's probably just
surprised if
'cause he's following
if
me
you
and shit.
yeah, but if you've shown any support for anybody in CG, especially EVS or whatever, they get all twisted, about that. And,
No,
and
I got a
again,
frog book or two.
Yeah, well, you haven't been vocal about it, or whatever. I mean, that's my point. Is though, if you
I've never
show
been
any-
vocal about Comicsgate.
I had
Yeah.
I had a few Comicsgate people on here.
I'm one of them, or was, or used to be.
Yeah, some of the people that you've interviewed, Tom, like Lucifer Storm. That guy's cool.
Yeah,
He's not really
yeah.
Comicsgate either, but he does his own stuff, and they're awesome. So.
Yeah, and I Fatal J's talk about his
Fatal
comic,
J,
which is
yep.
supposed to be coming soon and stuff.
Yeah.
Dash D's comes in with a Canadian $5, eh? What's that all about? You
Hey,
sorry?
Dash.
Sorry, I didn't get to it sooner. Mike says, Mike, can you really trust a man with a crippling taco addiction? Ask Valiant with his sig hat addiction.
Yeah, right. Oh, Valiant, you'll be excited. Guess what happened?
What?
I went to my local firearms FFL provider in order to pick up my firearm in accordance with federal weight procedures. And while I was there, they told me they had a sale. And in 5 days, I pick up my brand new SIG in order to show support for the Valiant Renegade DJ guy. Yes.
So wait, you still they have weights there in South Carolina?
Well, you have to call it in, and then they check. Because I just moved here, and so there's a 5-day wait when you're.
That's right, the moving thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Once I get to 1 year and I have 1 year residence, then it's irrelevant.
So you don't kill your new neighbor?
Dude, you want to hear something funny? There was a place that had two different similar pistols on sale. One was a short stub, the other was regular, and I had to wait. I forgot about the second one and sat there for 2 months because I totally forgot I ever bought it.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I think we got enough folks here now. I think we should probably get started. There really wasn't a bunch of big news, but there's a couple of smaller pieces. The big news, anyway, is Spider-Man No Way Home trailer crushes Avengers Endgame's 24-hour numbers, right? Which I think that was the wasn't that the
That was the record holder
anyway. I was going to say just in general, not just for Marvel movies, but in general.
Yeah.
289 million and now 355. It is.
Damn.
That was astonishing. And we were just talking about this. Tuesday night we were giving our predictions on what Spider-Man would do. And like I said, I felt the fan interest in this. It just seems like because I was kind of dead with Marvel. That trailer got me excited. So I'm like, I wonder what this did elsewhere. And when I saw those numbers the next day, I'm like, holy crap.
I still don't think this film's going to make $1 billion.
You could be
Theaters
right
don't
on
you don't
that
make a
culture.
billion.
capacity for that.
Yeah, I think, and that's the reason why what Script just said, just because of the capacity factor. But I think this is going to surprise people. This is, I mean, if there's any movie coming out aside from possibly Dune that could do anything right now, it's this. Like, this is almost like if I was putting money on anything, I think I said the same thing the other day before the whole trailer thing. And yeah, I was giving Script some shit a little bit about it too. But no, I mean, I never underestimate Spider-Man. That's one thing I do know is you never underestimate Spider-Man. He's had more ups than downs, and in this case, he's been going up in the MCU. And I know some people aren't a fan of it, but I brought it up the other day. You bring in the Tobey Maguire factor, you bring in the Alfred Molina factor, you bring in all these other factors. Regardless of how certain people feel about it, it's still going to put some butts in the seats. And even though we didn't get him in the main trailer, I heard there was footage shown at CinemaCon where they did see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. I don't know what capacity, but I think they are at least confirmed now to be in the film, unless somebody
I believe
knows
it was the
something
same case, if I'm not mistaken, with Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, he's in it too, I believe. Yeah,
he's in it, but like they had
they
footage
showed
of him
the
in
footage,
it, but they didn't
right,
show
yeah.
it in this trailer, but they showed it elsewhere.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Gotcha. And then Space Monk is now a member as well. Oh, we got to do something special for that. Let's see here. We'll give her. You have to smack Bree. And let's see. You need something else too, don't you, Timmy?
God, I love that.
Yeah.
And how about a maximum effort puppy for good measure? The other maximum effort puppy. There you go.
Woof. Woof.
See this
Come
guy.
On. There you go,
You can
buddy.
get it.
There you
can
go,
get up
buddy.
there.
There you go.
He's like, I don't know. Can I get under it? No.
It's too cute. It's too cute.
And
Oh, that's my favorite. That was my favorite one.
I know. Trench man. Sony Marvel. We need to go back to formula.
That's a good one.
Back to formula. Good one, Trench man. Spider Unlimited. Hail to the kings that entertain us after dark. I hope we do. I really hope we do. That's our goal here. If anything, for a couple hours, just to make you feel entertained and nice and warm and fuzzy. Everything and up to sexually, what's that word I'm looking for? Stimulated. Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want to Me Too anybody through the screen or anything. But I heard Me Too is falling apart. Did you guys hear this shit?
Well, I heard the Time's Up is doing it more so.
Yeah. Well, there's a few things that are kind of falling apart right now.
Yeah, it's the Time's Up thing has been taking a massive hit lately. They lost Roberta Kaplan about a month ago. She had to pull herself out because she went after. Sorry.
Word phrasing, yeah.
Poor phrasing. But she had to pull herself out of the organization because she essentially attacked Cuomo's accuser and was on record as doing that. And then actually, the president, the lady that runs it now, and her last name I think is Chen. Anyway, she had essentially said that they can't support. On record telling people in the organization they can't support Cuomo's accuser.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know what's exactly going on over at ABC, but then the new head of, I don't know if it's Good Morning America or whatever over there, is calling an outside investigation into how the investigation went down that led to one of the outing of one of their producers, I think there. But there's the one side of it is because it wasn't reported till February. And then the other side of it is there's emails that don't look very good for the accuser. So there's a lot of things that are kind of bouncing around with this. And I know it's off topic from we went way off. That was my fault, though. I take complete responsibility.
But you're not wrong. I mean, I covered it on the 6 Minute Daily, and it's been these are the stories.
Happening.
Yeah, these are the stories that are not looking good for them.
Guys, just so you know, the price of 4x6 lumber at Home Depot has gone up 37% while we're off topic. Just so you know.
Really?
Oh my God,
Jesus. Yeah. Dash D sends in another Canadian $5. He's not sorry about that though, eh? Says, does anybody remember in Doctor Strange comics the box in the teaser as a spirit trap? I thought I seen it somewhere, but I'm old.
I don't remember, but that's a good observation, Dash. Maybe so.
Yeah, I think the whole thing with him possibly being not who he says, and there's a lot going on there, so you might be onto something. Trench Man, Sony is you who's out Marvel out of your mind. He's just quoting away, Trench Man, and don't you stop. Don't let anybody stop you. No, am I surprised by this? Not really, but I'm I can't say I don't feel a little vindication, or at least like I knew there was something about it, because again, you guys, I don't know if you guys have been getting, but I've been just getting bombarded almost every day for the past few weeks of why haven't they released a Spider-Man trailer? What's going on? Have you guys heard anything? What's the deal? And it's like, it'd be like, trust me, if we knew anything, we'd put it in a video. But here you go. Here's the trailer. Okay. And obviously everybody's been bugging Sony because did you see their little tweet?
Well, I mean, it worked for
funny.
them. I mean, on top of that, you also have how many of the nation's population started going to YouTube given the circumstances of the last 18 months. So we probably
Right.
got a nice boost of additional users.
Well, that's a
able
good
to actually
point.
search and watch things as well. So that's good for advertisement. That's good for business.
But I like their little
Mhm.
tweet is, you guys better watch this as many times as you asked for it.
That is a clever marketing.
That
effort
is
and running
That
great.
is so awesome.
I had to
I
laugh
love
at
it.
that. That was good.
That is so good.
Because I gotta imagine they've been getting bombarded as many times as I hear about it on a weekly basis. Because I know you guys have been excited for it. There's a lot of people who wanted to know what's going on with this, and rightfully so. This is one of the only Marvel things coming out I'm excited for. So I want to get everybody's kind of take on this. Let's start with Ord, since he's our guest. Ords, what did you think of the trailer, and are you surprised by this reaction to it?
I'm surprised by this reaction to it, just for the simple fact of how many people that we all know that are done with the MCU. I'm personally surprised by this trailer because I am excited about it. Now I did it, my reaction to it and everything. They kind of knew this was where it was going to go, was opening this multiverse. My one issue, and I'm sure everybody here has seen the trailer, so I'm allowed to talk about, was
Whoa.
Yeah, we got digital Ords.
Yeah, I lost him.
And he's gone.
He's a goner.
Uh-oh.
We'll give him
What?
something.
Wait. Is that the call for Mexican Iron Man to Antonio Starco to suit up and go save Ords?
all right. Now,
Is that the?
Oh,
is
I
that
think
the
we got him back.
yeah, we got. What the hell? Sometimes it just like. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
You like phased out. You got snapped out of existence for a second.
That was weird. I know.
Ords.
Man.
Ords,
Endgame.
I was about to put my suit on and put my sunflower seeds down, and I was going to come save you.
Well, the last thing
Your
we got is you were
MCs.
starting with I saw the trailer, so go from there. Sorry.
All right. So, okay. Anyway, all right. So I'm excited about the trailer, or about the movie based on the trailer. I'm surprised at the simple fact that like I didn't expect to be like, even with Black Widow, I didn't care. Right. I don't care. Even with all the Disney Plus stuff, whatever. It didn't get me excited. Seeing this, it did get me excited, and that surprised me because I expected it to just be another thing. Now, we knew it was going to go to the multiverse that had been talked about months ago, about how they were talking about bringing in the 3 Spider-Men from the different universes, which I like that because it gives it that comic book feel, because this is something we see regularly in comic books with the crossover events, multiverse events. Like it makes sense. This seems like a comic book movie to me. And then I love the end of the trailer where you get the Green Goblin hint. You get Doc Ock right at the end, Sandman hint. You get all these things that kind of get you excited for the Sinister Six, which is something kind of unexpected, I think, for Marvel to go to, is the Sinister Six, because it's, yes, people know who they are, but it's not something that's talked about. You see a lot of the origin stories, or you see a lot of the relationships that the superheroes had in their timelines and stuff, but you don't get to see cool things, just like superheroes fighting bad guys. Like, that's what we want to see, and I think that's what we're going to get out of this. But always, especially with Disney, Marvel, all that, cautious. We go for it. I'm cautiously optimistic here.
Yeah, especially after the last few things we got, and I don't blame you.
So yeah, I'm a little surprised by the reaction of it, man. I think it's good. It kind of gives us a chance to actually like look forward to something. Now, if it's a total dud, or if you didn't like it, that is what it is. But right now, in this moment, I'm excited, and I feel it. Like I think Valiant said, I feel it. I feel the excitement for it. I feel the fan energy for this. And that's something good. That I think that's a good thing. We need to find something to rally around that's good right now. And this could be it, man. This could be it. I don't know.
All right, Culture. I mean, we already kind of got your assessment of the trailer, so let's just cut to the chase here with you. What's your reaction to this crushing Avengers numbers?
I think I'm on the same page as Script is. I think that there are a lot more YouTube users than there were back when Avengers Endgame trailer hit. I think you have at least more people engaged with the platform on a regular basis. So when this came out, it probably hit their suggested because that's the way the logarithm works. So, the logarithm throws at you the things that, the other people are, running on those logs. So I just always feel like this is I guess to me, I guess it's surprising to me it's this many, but at the same time, maybe it shouldn't have been because there's so many people that would have had access to it. I don't know. I just don't think, I don't think this film is going to be as popular for all of this is all I'm saying. I don't know.
Right.
I'm probably wrong, and that's okay. I mean, I'm allowed to miss every once in a while.
Oh yeah.
I just don't.
You could be right. You never know.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, is this?
It's
gonna
the
translate?
safer bet. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It's a safer bet that it's not going to make $1 billion. I mean,
well, is it? But the question is the trailer going to translate into butts and seats? Because that would be the biggest movie of all time.
That's a good question. That's a very good question. Valiant, let's jump that to you. What's your reaction to this numbers and off of Culture's question? Do you think it's going to translate?
Well, I agree with what Script and Culture said about YouTube users. Obviously, there's more of us on here now, even though there was quite a good cacophony of us on here 2 years ago with Endgame, but there are more now using YouTube to search for this. That being said, if you go back and you look right now at what we got with Shang-Chi, with Black Widow, and with the Eternals, in the first 24 hours, those trailers, these are MCU properties as well, even though Spider-Man is still technically Sony. Those trailers didn't get, 20%, if that, of what this just did. Mm-hmm. So we're in the same time frame here. This thing has blown it out the park. I don't know, you can go look at Shang-Chi. The trailers have been out for weeks. They've had more than we've had several things on Shang-Chi. We had several things on Black Widow. We've had 2 trailers so far now with Eternals. I think even if you combine their first 24-hour numbers, they don't even come close to snipping what this thing did. So that to me suggests that there's definitely more fan interest in this. There's definitely more excitement about this. Apparently, this was the movie that fans of that Marvel Cinematic Enterprise, this is what they were looking for. And they went in droves. I don't know how else to read it. Script said it Tuesday night, or the other day we were talking, this doesn't necessarily translate to butts and seats like you guys were just saying. And that's absolutely correct. I agree with it 100%. But if we're looking at a movie like Shang-Chi, which is going to be a theatrical exclusive film coming out next week, and we're talking about this thing tracking between a $30 and $50 million opening. And we can see that the interest and again, it's slightly anecdotal, although there's a lot of weight to it. This is a big sample size. Looking at YouTube numbers, I mean, you got to think, and this is why I was saying, I believe that Spider-Man could pull off a $100 million domestic opening weekend. The last one did, I think, 150. What did we say the other? I don't remember. But anyway, it's not going to get there. But I think it's definitely going to far outstrip Black Widow and Shang-Chi and the Eternals, provided that we still have relatively decent access to theaters.
You might as well say that like, some big jock is going to be able to beat up 3 nerds too, though. That's the thing, though, in comparing the 3.
Okay,
like,
but that's
no,
that's
I know.
the point of me
I know
saying
you're
it.
not wrong,
Yeah.
but it's like, that's kind of like, well, even in the worst
brand
of
recognition, the
circumstances.
legacy of the character, two solo films plus 5 existing
Exactly.
appearances.
Just
Like Spider-Man's
Right.
got a lot of pre-marketing already integrated into it compared to the Eternals and Shang-Chi. And Black Widow is basically it performed poorly for 2 reasons. One, it was a movie that should have came out 5-6 years ago, and 2, it was a terrible story. It really was.
I was just poking fun at Valiant more than anything.
No, I get it.
right.
But my point is exactly what Script just said. But look at what Black Widow did its opening weekend.
Right.
And it had a dual release. It was day and date, and it was in the theaters, and it still got, $80 million its opening weekend in the box, not including D+. So why can't I believe that this, or anybody believe that this thing that just went off the charts with the trailer with views, that it won't bust 100 million domestic on opening weekend. That's why I was
Well, but
saying
the
I
access
kinda had
to
that
theaters
feeling
have
we were coming
changed.
there.
The
I
access
think
to theaters have changed since Black Widow came out. That's what's the
They
biggest
have,
element.
but
Yeah.
here's
I think-
what else is coming out at the same time in December. So if you have a 10 or 12 seat theater, this Spider-Man show, yeah, you might be at 50% capacity, but they're going to put it on twice as many
All the
screens in the
theaters.
same
Oh,
theater.
absolutely.
Well,
They'll
and
put it on
Because
I
there's
think-
nothing else to
Yeah,
put
yeah.
in there at that point.
I
Forrest,
think
go
that
ahead,
I think
sorry.
something to consider too within the audience is people that don't necessarily care about Tom Holland's Spider-Man and the MCU stuff. Those might be people who are fans of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man and the Garfield Spider-Man and all that stuff,
Yep.
right? So they're kind of reaching out to a wider audience with that. The people who loved those movies back then hear that these characters that they loved are going to be in this movie, and they're like, "Well, all right, okay, yeah, I'll go check that out." Right? So it's kind of an interesting way to bring in a wider audience, and I think there is a good portion of people on that end who liked those other Spider-Men, don't really necessarily care about this, but would definitely appreciate going back and revisiting those characters that they loved before.
Absolutely. And that's the point I've been
Absolutely.
making from the start is like, yeah, I think this is going to outdo Flash by tenfold
Oh, yeah.
because
Oh yeah.
this has like 10 Michael Keatons in it, right? So, Mike, you're the only one we really haven't heard from yet, even though script, I was going to give him a little bit more to speak on it. But, like, what's your reaction to this crushing the numbers for Avengers?
Well, as I've stated before, and I'll state it again, which is that there's a dynamic happening in social media, which is absolutely what Script talked about. There's more, or Culture talked about. There's more people watching YouTube. I just take a look at what's happened now. We are now building, whether you want to call it fellowships, community, friendships, whatever. I know this. I know that I have gone from casually watching YouTube 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, periodically, to where I can't wait to see what the next video is that Midnight said is going to release, or Culture, or like take Valiant. I didn't even know Valiant 7 months ago in December. I met him or maybe I did. I don't know when I met you, but December, January, I got to know. But now I'm like, okay, as soon as I'm looking at my phone to see what videos pop up. Same thing with Doomcock and others. As much as Hollywood hates us, and they do hate us, they hate us on YouTube. They hate that we exist. They hate us as content creators. I'm not even a content creator. I'm a fan. Members of us who, those of us in the YouTube community who aren't, necessarily creators with our own channels, we're very much a vibrant part. That they hate us all because you know what? A lot of you guys rely on us or Midnight's Edge or Culture or Valiant or anybody Script to tell to kind of say this thing's good or not. Otherwise, why get up out of your chair and go and see something? That, to me, it is absolutely. Let me just say this: I can sit down and have as good of a time on a live stream that's kicking it on all cylinders, or even when I'm not on the panel and I'm just listening and watching it, than as much as any other movie, because at least I feel part of it. I know who's there. All my friends, I'm talking to them in the chat stream, people I haven't met, but I feel like I know. Are you kidding? Hollywood is crazy. And they're absolutely insane. There's no way these numbers are ever coming back under, even if everything was open. It's just not going to happen.
All right.
And I got fired from the show. It sounds like.
No, that's very well put. No,
I'm
I
just
think
going to
you're
correct
right.
you. You actually produce and do more than a lot of content creators, so don't shortchange yourself there. But yeah, Script, go ahead and go ahead from there, man.
Well, let's pose this more interesting take on the question. Let's say hypothetically that Spider-Man, Spider-Man No Way Home makes $1 billion at the box office. Then what? What does that really mean? What changes? Think about it overall. Like, it doesn't matter what it makes in the box office if it breaks, let's say an 80 million over opening weekend and does decently well overall. The situation that still is up in the air is: are theaters open at full capacity? Are movies getting as many screens as they can? Are the advertising dollars behind it? And are people wanting to go to the theater? Spider-Man will not change any of those variables, regardless of how good it is or how successful it is.
No, that's a very great point, Script. But at the same time, I think it'll be a good gauge of where we're at. If this movie does manage to make $1 billion, if it doesn't have any other movies really up against it, because as Orts pointed out and the other guys pointed out and stuff we're talking about, like, if there's nothing else for it to be in the theater against, it's got all these theaters open. and stuff like that. It'll all depend on the variables. Like that's the problem we have now. And I get what you're saying, Script, but I think this is where like normally under normal circumstances, nobody would blink an eye if this movie made $1 billion, right? It would be expected to make $1 billion. If anything, they'd be upset if it didn't make $1 billion. But I think in this atmosphere, depending on what happens between now and then, is going to be the big. Is this going to be the game changer to let? Because I think that's going to be the bigger. I guess to answer your question better is the big resounding answer that this is going to send to Hollywood is yes, we will go see movies if you make something or put something out that we want to fucking see.
Right.
And I
but
think
Marvel's not going to see it that way
exactly what I was
because
gonna
they're
say.
Marvel.
Yeah.
They assume that
you're
everybody
right.
wants to
You
see
have
this
a
movie.
point there to a point, but at the same time, if it was a normal world, yes. Again, it all depends on the variables of where we're at with the Koof situation. It all depends on how a few other movies play up until that point. It may not even be a factor. You're right. Maybe Ghostbusters blows this shit out the fucking water. We don't know. You know,
and like with what kind of what Script was saying, that like how many times have we seen it where like Disney, Marvel, whatever, they make something that's halfway decent. You're like, okay, I like that, and then either by the end of the season or by the end of the phase or by the end of the movie, we're like, well, what the hell? It's like we got a little bit of what we wanted, and then they took it away. Now, let's say this movie comes out, it's a hit, right? They're not going to know how to hit that mark again. They're going to miss it again. They're going to drive it into the ground, beat it into the ground because, it made so much money. So let's, beat it into the ground and not just appreciate it for what it is. But like, kind of like what Script was saying, it's like, they're going to miss the mark the next movie. You know what I mean? Have we had 2 consistently good movies from Marvel?
Oh, in the past, yes. But
in the past, yeah. But I'm talking about it just recently. Yeah, no, we haven't.
I mean, I don't know if that's exactly the question that Script was asking, but
it's okay. He's high.
I know it's okay, but you're not wrong. Like that's the other side of it is you're not wrong there.
Yeah,
I mean, it's, and I don't think Script's wrong either. Is that under normal circumstances, it's not going to make a big fucking difference in either capacity. It's just, I think it all depends on how many theaters are open, what else is going on in the world at the time, and if anything else does anything between now and then besides this, because going against what we reported on our last show, it does turn out that according to Sony, at least, they debunked the whole Venom thing. As far as they're concerned, it's still coming out on time.
Oh, good for them.
Saw that.
So we'll see if that's the case. And if that's the case, I think Venom's going to be a little bit of a testing ground film as well as Ghostbusters. But Ghostbusters is a whole nother fucking animal, right? So maybe that's the question that's going to be answered for you, Script, better, or at least more so with the Ghostbusters film, since that doesn't have the baggage that Spider-Man does going into it, for better or worse. Maybe that's
a good point.
Then maybe that's
Spider-Man's got a big foundation that can support a huge audience draw. Ghostbusters is in that contentious window at the time because the last Ghostbusters film was not well received, and people have every right to be apprehensive about this current one, even though I think the trailers and some of the advertising for it has been pretty convincing that this is going to be a little bit of a return to old form, but also something new as well.
Yeah, and I think that'll be a real testing ground for a lot of this too. Spider Unlimited came in with a $4.99 super chat. Sorry it took so long to get to this, but thank you so much. It says most likely Doctor Strange isn't who he says he is in Spider-Man. My brother pointed out that his wink is very similar to Loki's. Not just that, there was a couple other people that were pointing out that too. Same thing with what's her face from
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, well,
that was my
WandaVision,
only issue with the trailer.
Yeah.
That was my only issue with the trailer.
Well, the other part too is that Loki's kind of trapped in one of many alternate timelines at the TVA right now. So if he is in Spider-Man 3, I wonder if the season 2 of Loki will be filling in that gap retroactively. But then again, it also kind of feels disappointing that we're going up against Loki as a villain again.
There's no way in God's green earth I'm seeing any more of that show.
Well, they can't make him. They can't. I don't think they could go back and write him into a believable villain anymore after that show. I'm sorry. How
about just writing him back so that he's at least a believable man? How about that?
Well, that would be the first step. That's why I think the villain part is just completely out of reach.
I mean, Jiminy Crickets. I was so looking. You want to talk disappointment? I was so looking forward to that. And okay, maybe it's because one of my best friends is, Stone Loki, Mornings of Mischief, and Valhalla, and I'm on that show in the morning sometimes, and maybe I have a soft spot in my heart. But God, that show sucked. Oh God. Dude, I'd rather watch Lower Decks at this point.
Oh God.
Well, we had a couple super chats here. Hope make sure I didn't miss any here. Dash D said, okay, we had actually one before
Pledge
Dash D.
or
Sorry.
Feige.
Okay, no, I got it here. Okay. Trenchman said Feige had to beat an old leaker with a stick.
Maybe.
He doesn't like leakers. Dash D says, I watched a Valiant stream. I certainly feel used.
Wow.
Okay.
Wrong.
Thank you. We aim to please.
Kenneth LaRock says, just wanting to say hi to the panel. Well, hello, Kenneth. Welcome to the show. Dash D's comes in again with another Canadian $5. Thank you. So Dash D's is like the sponsor for tonight. Says no more mead. Now we are Sinister Six, unless Mike needs to walk Bambino. Then we are just the flirty five.
No. If you guys have noticed, I like Bambino's under control now.
Oh, Bambino's used to the new house?
Well, I figured out what the problem was. So I had a subwoofer connected to my computer, and I think the rumbling of the subwoofer got him all like weirded and excited, and that's why you would kick out my microphone cable. Tom was right. Because Tom was like, "You're doing something with your audio," and I'm like, "No." And then I unplugged it. Ever since I unplugged the subwoofer, no problems.
Interesting. Warwolf hanging out. How you doing? Says, I, for one, am glad to see that Andrew Garfield might be back. I just wish they kept going with his films. I don't, but I'm glad you're getting him back. How's that? Is that good? Okay.
Very convincing. Very convincing.
Yeah. And Etienne Flair, I can never say this name. Please say it, Mike, or somebody else.
Ballardo?
Etienne,
I was going to say Fallardo. Yeah.
Etienne Fallardo.
Okay, thank you. Anybody but me, because I can't say that name and I feel like I'm butchering it. She, I'm sorry if I'm misgendering you as well. I think I'd be
ATN would be a guy usually.
I would say I think it was a guy I asked before. Sorry about that. I didn't recognize the gender of the name. But thank you for becoming a member. But this one is on me. Tom sucks.
This sucks.
Yeah, me. It really sucks.
So I apologize for you becoming a member.
But welcome to the
entails.
He actually upgraded to maximum effort, I think.
Oh my
Yes, he
goodness.
did upgrade it to maximum.
Yeah, he was already
no
a member.
longer minimum effort. Right?
No, he was. Now he's maximum effort. Yeah, he upgraded. Oh my God, I love that guy.
I know, that's why I had to play it. There you go. There's another maximum effort
Maximum
puppy.
effort puppy.
And a PC load lifter.
PC load letter? What the fuck does that mean?
Or letter, whatever it is.
I love that movie. God.
I just watched it like last week.
Oh.
It's not my fault that he sucks. Why should I change my name?
What happened to Orange?
I'm here.
He's
I
high.
thought you fell asleep.
He's being
Ah,
good.
bro. This isn't Sporking's channel. I only fall asleep on his channel.
Hillis Mallory says, thoughts on the positive reviews of Shang-Chi. It was a triumph.
They're triumphant. That's what they
It's
are.
a triumphant film.
Is that what
It's
they said?
That's what everybody
I've
said.
heard those same things before about other Marvel movies that came out that from all the professional critics that saw it, and then it turned out to be not the case.
I mean,
I'm not
I-
saying this is bad.
Look,
I don't trust the early reviews. I never trust them anymore.
Look, let's just say this. All I can say is that when you get to be Mexican Iron Man's age, just getting your right sock on your right leg is a triumphant morning, if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it matters what foot your socks go on. But anyway, just the Ords go on to Twitter and type in triumphant and
Or triumph.
triumphant Shang-Chi, and you just look at what happens. Like
That's
every
It's
reviewer
very weird.
calls it a triumph.
I mean, I will say this one. If it is a triumph, it's probably because Dave Callahan finally wrote something good in his career. Because he's the writer of this and all the others. And if that's the case, I am really happy because I've been waiting for this for a while.
We do need
Well,
a bit of phone.
Script can probably attest to this. I mean, this is not just this is movies, this is politics, this is everything that all works the same way. When they want to put a press release out and they want to start getting buzz going, they usually send out in the press release, they send out keywords to use in the reviews. They tell all these people this is what we want you to say. Here are some phrases. A lot of times they will hand them, frankly, pre-scripted copy to go ahead and stick in their review in their articles.
Just like with these Zack Snyder Justice League previews, what there were 3 different posts of that event had the exact same phrases to say.
Wow.
Yeah, that's been going on. Look, they've done that. That's been going on for decades and decades.
Press
that's nothing
release
new.
review.
Yep. Dash D says, could Loki do that magic though? I don't know if it's so much Loki as it would be. I think the whole idea was they were going to set up Mephisto and Doctor Strange in WandaVision, and I'm curious if that's not really Doctor Strange but Mephisto in disguise, because Script made a good case for it. Quite a few other people have. There's been articles written about it now, so I wouldn't doubt it.
They've already hinted at him in WandaVision with the House of M, bottle of wine. I mean, Mephisto and all that. So I mean, he's in the realm of Phase 4. So why not? He could show up here.
Well, and remember how in the last movie we thought it was Samuel Jackson when it was really one of the
Skrulls.
Skrulls.
In the last Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying this is a Skrull this time, but I'm just saying it's a similar story beat.
Actually, a Super Skrull could probably do Doctor Strange magic. But
That's why I was curious if they could even do that.
I don't think they're doing Secret Invasion until after Secret Wars. I think that's my understanding based on some of Mikey Sutton's reporting.
That's what it sounded like to me. But again, yeah, that all depends on if that's accurate or not. But Warwolf says, why the hell is there an alligator in here? Where? Who let an alligator in here? Probably Mandy.
I
have no idea what Warwolf is talking about.
I don't either, but
I love him to pieces, but sometimes he talks so fast and stuff. I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about.
If somebody let an alligator in here, I want to know who and kick their ass. Diego Flores, how you doing, buddy? Says, guys, if Chapek wins and puts Feige on a leash, what would that mean to all current Marvel productions already being filmed? It would mean they have to sell fucking toys.
Yeah, pretty much. It doesn't really change anything. If anything, it might just reduce the weight on their shoulders to hit up whatever type of agenda that might be being pushed from the outside in. We don't know, but most likely not much.
Oh, I know what he's talking about now.
See, I never finished the show, so I've
okay.
Quoting Loki.
Loki alligator, that's right. Alligator Loki.
Sorry, Loki's not really a show worthy of quoting, but that's okay. Like if you liked it. Yeah.
But I think it'll boil down more to, honestly, I think I made this point a couple times now, but it'll be a lot like it was again before they got rid of Perlmutter, because Perlmutter was kind of a hard ass like that. He's like, if it's not selling the toys, I ain't fucking doing it. Now I'm not agreeing with all of his thoughts all of the time, because clearly I would say that he was wrong with Black Panther, but I think his instincts were a little bit more on the button with things like Captain Marvel and whatnot. I mean, it could be debatable on somebody like Black Widow. Now, if she would have got her movie when she probably should have originally, it'd be a different story, but that's
but the other part too is that a voice like Perlmutter's is usually pretty good in a room, because you want some of your decisions to be challenged just to see how strong that decision actually is. And if you have the positive relationship between the two people or the two parties or what have you, you can end up making something really, really great. And one thing that we can kind of sort of track pretty cohesively is that since Perlmutter has left, the quality and the ingenuity within the Marvel films has kind of vanished as well, which means that there's been no one there to question some decisions and no one there to bounce back and say, oh, we can make this better so that we can get the point we want to cross. So, yeah, that's something I should probably do a deeper dive into that, from like the exact time he left and seeing what was in production at that time versus everything that came afterwards.
I 100% agree. I touched on that a couple of weeks ago, and it's like,
I remember.
I think everything's going to a little be skewed and heavy-ended, but that's the thing is, can you really compare the two script? Because of the problem you have there is you have those big Marvel movies that are on the other end, and the only reason those movies were so big was because of that 10-year buildup, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So that's a really difficult one, because I think it's going to be very...
I wasn't talking about profitability. I was just talking about story effectiveness.
Okay, well, that's a better way of like that'd be an interesting video for you to put together right there, an interesting paper or whatever.
Once Perlmutter left, all Feige really had to do was carry the football the last 10 yards, and he basically didn't have a defender within 30 yards.
Perlmutter didn't leave. That's the thing. Iger and Feige squeezed him out.
Well, right. Well, when I say he left, when he just wasn't there anymore. Yeah, Feige went upstairs and just for everybody out there watching, basically said, well, they basically said Ike's a racist and a sexist and all this, and he didn't want to have this character and this character because he didn't like this race and this gender, and it was like, no, Ike, I don't think he was like that. I think it's exactly as script said. He, you guys were just talking about. It's like, what can we sell toys with? What is going to work? What's not?
His actual quote was, if I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, script, because I don't even think I'm paraphrasing, when he just flat out said, "Black characters and woman toys don't sell."
Well,
I think he made something close to that because the only I think he was dating that overall because there are the exceptions to the rules, of course.
Yes, there are, and that's right.
But like I think overall he was kind of looking at the data. He's like saying, yeah, statistically, that's unfortunately what it's like, unless you're Tyler Perry, really.
Exactly. No, but I mean the black thing. You know what? I think he was wrong on that respect, just because there hadn't been a strong enough character pushed yet, other than Blade, right?
I would say that's fair. Yeah, like
the other side of it though is in a toy addict situation where it's a predominantly toy or boy franchise, 9 times out of 10 the girl version, whatever the female characters, don't generally sell that well because boys just don't generally play with girl toys. It's just
and the dichotomy that didn't help between having Chadwick Boseman, who had frankly a ton of charisma. Whether or not, the movie itself was as great as everybody made it out to be, Chadwick Boseman, a ton of charisma. And then on the other side, you had Brie Larson.
My point was basically, is Ike a racist? Nah, yeah, a little bit. Is he sexist? Oh, probably.
I would say he's more data-driven,
and
that can kind of reinforce it.
Exactly, Script. My ending point was going to be, but he has the data to back his shit up.
You know what that's called? That's called truth. That's called truth. It's not ist or nothing. It's called truth.
Well, here's the other point too.
You know what? And hold on, real quick, Script. I just want to share this quick story. So when I was a kid, we had GI Joes, and we wanted to name one of them Jose. So we so look what we did. So we went to the local hobby shop, and we had my cousin who was 18. You had to be over 18 to get the spray paint acrylic shit. So we bought brown, and we spray painted a GI Joe brown and called him Jose Joe.
That's a cool character, actually. I like that name. That's catchy.
Wasn't there any Hispanic characters in G.I. Joe? I'd imagine there.
Later there were, but not back in the day. There weren't. So we just spray painted one.
They were pretty diverse.
Are you talking about like the G.I. Joe dolls before the action figure toy line, or
are you? Didn't have a. Well, we didn't have a Jose. Well, we were pretty broke. We shared a bunch of toys. I'm just saying.
Talking about in general.
Yeah. We don't know if they sold them or not because we were too broke to go shopping. So our solution was we took a GI Joe and we spray painted one of the ones we had with a brown model paint.
Gotcha. Now it makes perfect sense. Okay, never mind. Dash D says.
Oh, well, I was just going to finish this one point right before we get to the lovely super chat, because this is actually a really important thing. If Perlmutter were still around during the Civil War film, because I believe he was ejected just before that, right?
2015, I think, is when he started going out.
Time period,
so it'd be around the production of Civil War.
I believe so, yeah.
Well, one of the things that stood out with Civil War was the introduction of Black Panther. And that's kind of like you're testing the waters before you actually jump knee deep into production for Black Panther. And I think that from that data there, he would have been able to say, you know what, so many people are responding to this Black Panther character. I think it actually would support doing a film, especially with the Marvel brand behind it. But if you were to just pitch to him straight out, hey, we're going to do a Black Panther solo film, he's like, there's nothing I can draw upon to figure out if that's going to be successful or not outside of the Marvel brand. So why are we wasting money to it?
Another angle could have been, look, Blade was a big hit, but it's not a kids franchise. Just imagine if we had a character like that for kids. He could have went in at that angle too. And again, that's what I'm saying. Yes, was Ike probably those bad things? Probably, but he had the data to back his shit up.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a little bit of short-sightedness on his part as well.
I think he wasn't seeing as much green as he wanted to in order to justify such an action.
And that could very well be. And then Dash D says, let's get down to the what truly matters, or let's go to the truly important matter. Sorry. What the hell happened to Fenton? He's still chasing sea dogs.
Wheels. Yeah.
Jesus Christ! Fenton! Oh, Jesus Christ!
Fenton!
It got eerie quiet in here.
You can't hear the Fenton thing?
I didn't hear the Fenton.
Oh, that's
We heard
weird.
it.
We heard it. It's just
Yeah.
you.
I heard it.
And it
So
was
there you go,
awesome.
Dasties.
Culture has like
glad.
this big dashboard.
If it
of,
wasn't
like,
for the puppies, we wouldn't be able to keep Ord's attention. See?
Exactly, man.
I do. There are so many screens in front of me right now. I'm like, okay.
We're gonna get to some funner stuff here in a minute, Ords. Eric Winberg says, "Hail meat in the pit." Well, thank you, Eric. Eric is a very big supporter of the channel. Thank you so much. Eric likes to send me like little PayPal payments here and there, just for whatever, and it's really cool. Like you know, he doesn't have a reason, just wants to show support, and that's just really neat. Like I'm not streaming or anything, just all of a sudden out of the blue.
really?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I
Very
mean. It's
cool.
like it's
Thank
not
you,
like I'm
Eric.
just saying like what like I didn't mean to make it sound like it's insignificant, but I mean like no, I'm like all of a sudden just sitting there and all of a sudden I'll just get one.
You know what I was gonna? I was at Best Buy buying more 4K DVDs today, and I'm like I want to bother Tom and ask him which ones I should get. Oh, I should probably super chat.
should've.
I'm like, shit, he's not online though. What do I do?
Oh, you should have. I wasn't busy until like 3:00 or whatever, for the most part. All right. What was I doing?
All right,
here?
we've knocked this trailer out. I think.
I got
Or
distracted.
this article.
Yeah, we
On-
did. I was looking up because I know I think I missed some super chats, so that's what I was doing. Okay. Which one we got? Eric Winberg. Okay, then. Oh no, I guess I didn't. We got them all here. And then Etienne Felidor comes back with Hatien, very male as well. Thank you for clarifying. And it sounds like I was pretty close. Hatien or Hatien, 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 Hatien. Okay. Cinead Silver is my handle usually, but I cannot switch.
Cyanide.
Oh, cyanide. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. I hate how those things are spelled sometimes, guys, because I read just so phonetic.
The word ceramic might throw you off.
Like yeah. Anyway,
Because
one
when you
rough
look at that
girl-
first, you're like, wait a minute.
One rough girl comes in with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Remember, y'all from Vegas wanted to support my peep. Never in NC. Well, go indoor skydiving. I think Rough Girl is saying that if we're ever in North Carolina, which I think is NC, right?
Yep, North Carolina.
To go
Man.
indoor skydiving. Do you work for like an indoor skydiving place? That's pretty cool.
It's super
Thrown
fun.
over
If
a
you
giant
haven't,
man.
if you
How do
haven't done it,
how do we know that they have like machines strong enough to lift me and Tom off the floor? How do
They're pretty strong.
yeah, but no, hold
Are
on.
we too big for the tribe?
Me and Tom at the same session at the same time. I don't know.
Oh no, that's
Well,
a
you
bad
have to
deal.
videotape that for the sight gag alone, really, if you think it's not going to do the job.
I would question if we would get through that alive. Yes. And then Warwolf, thank you so much for the very generous $5. Says Midnight's Edge After Dark. I never watched the show. I just saw the clip on YouTube, and it stuck with me. That joke fit since Loki came up. Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
just totally spaced it out. I
Yeah,
forgot all about it. Everybody did bring it up too. That's my fault. And Diego coming in again with another $5 Peruvian souls, or 5 Peruvian souls, I should say. I was more aiming at the movies already filming with the agenda, scenes, and scripts. Oh, okay. With your question before,
Oh, I didn't understand that.
I don't know if Chapek's initial, how do you want to put this? His initial
plan.
plan or reaction to everything is going to necessarily consist of the woke stuff, but as we were pointing out earlier, without getting back into any of the political stuff or any of that kind of stuff, there has been a lot of stuff in the news lately about, are we going too far with the woke business? Is television too woke? That was another headline I saw the other day. I think it was in Deadline. David Spade just talking about is his comedy, the whole comedy woke thing, adding his voice to the mix of the many comedians who have already brought up. Even Whoopi Goldberg is going out and talking about it, right?
I
Yep.
saw that one.
Like, of all
They're
fucking
starting to
people.
set the stage. They're starting
Exactly.
to set the stage.
So-
Remember, it started with college campuses not wanting comics to do their stuff years ago, and
Yep. And Chris Rock even said he wasn't going to play colleges and go to them anymore. Like, that was 5-6 years ago.
yeah,
Chris Rock said
Exactly,
he
yeah.
couldn't stand
Seinfeld
it.
did it 7.
Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah, I
Seinfeld
mean-
is tame compared to most comedians.
Exactly. So when Seinfeld
these
doesn't want to
days,
do it,
yeah. They're setting the stage. They're finally admitting what all of us out here, and obviously I've only been on YouTube 7 months. I say all of us, you guys and you guys watching out there that have been watching these shows for years and years. They're finally catching up and admitting, because they have nowhere else to go. The money, they see the ratings, they see the box office sales of these things drying up. They finally having to come to the realization to where we might have pushed the envelope a little too fast.
Well, not only that, I think it's also coming for too many of their own. I think that's another problem, is they realizing they err their ways, and it's a two-way street, and things are going to come back to haunt them. So Diego, I think it may come a little sooner than we think on the Disney side of things. And that's why I think Script was really onto something with Cameron and Andre when they hit on it, and Valiant did a different angle on it too, but kind of came to a nearly same kind of conclusion. And Culture is also on top. All these, me and Ords are just sitting back getting high, but
Look,
no, these guys are
the
brilliant.
Quick version of this, the quick
Mexican
version of
Iron
this
Man.
is,
You know how we do.
This is one of the reasons why the major stockholders, for those of you watching, this is why one of the reasons the major stockholders of Disney, the institutional funds, the Black Rocks, the State Streets, the Vanguards, American funds, so on and so forth, this is why they backed a Bob Chapek. Iger was very much a Hollywood animal. Chapek is he ran every division of Disney, including distribution of film and television. He never ran the studio production side. That's very different. And so he's not a Hollywood animal. And I think there's more and more recognitions, like we've talked about David Zaslav, him taking over Warner Brothers, if that merger and spinoff goes through next year.
Right.
There is a change coming. It's going to take a few years to get this ship turned, but the writing's on the wall, folks.
Well, the Zaslav thing's a done deal. I mean, I'm not worried about it. There's very few hurdles that they're going to have to get through for that to happen, that merger, that new company creation.
Oh, yeah. I just meant like regulatory approval and shit that hadn't happened yet. That's all.
No, you're right. Yeah, no, but and this is your wheelhouse. But yeah, there's very little to stand in the way of that one for a change. I
agree. I agree.
The Amazon MGM thing right now is the one that's going to have a few extra hoops now. All of a sudden,
I think it'll happen, but it'll take some time.
Oh, it's going to take more time. They're
going to take a lot of money. Amazon's going to have to funnel some interesting cash somewhere in order to get.
There'll be a lot of greased palms on that one.
Yeah. Well, I
in Capitol Hill.
Industry about MGM last night, but anyway, continue, Culture.
No, it's just in exactly what VR is saying is true. Chapek is a retail animal. He is not a Hollywood animal. So it's a completely different way of approaching business, right? And this dude sells it. It's not great for theme park people, by the way, but this dude sells stuff like it's a product. Right. In fact, that's one of his strong suits. It's why he dominated, certain parts of the parks, products, and experiences, on his way up to the top job. And he's just different. Now, there were some issues with the board on selecting who was going to be next. So it doesn't surprise me, because there are still some pretty interesting humans on the board that also, are political animals that show up in, certain European countries for annual get-togethers, forums, so to speak. Gosh, I'd have to dance around a lot of stuff. But, and consider this, these people are on multiple boards of directors, right? And they all kind of know each other. So I'm sure there was a lot of arm twisting there, because the folks that like to spend a lot of times in these forums in Europe, they are all about this, shifting of power, and kind of the leveling the playing field around the globe. Whereas the institutional investors that like money and profits are like, no, thank you. Well, that sounds great. No, and you can do that. We're just not here.
Yeah.
We want our dividends.
Yeah. And that's, go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to say, Culture, what did you call those? You call those forums, or what did you? So,
yeah. The people, they participate in this forum.
Culture,
thingy.
It's in various countries like Amsterdam, Czech Republic, Hungary.
Culture here at Midnight Edge, we call that strategic planning sessions.
Ah, okay. All right,
yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, very good. I just am trying to.
For those watching, just so you understand what Culture's saying, he's absolutely right. Just the institutional investors I was mentioning, Culture's talking about the board, so you know how it works. The institutional investors are the ones that get to vote and put in those board members for companies like Disney, which in turn then install or select and install a CEO. Which means that the guys at BlackRock, they get to put the board in, they get to tell the board who to put in as CEO. That's how the shit rolls downhill from there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and it's interesting because the reason that Disney stopped issuing the dividends, knowing full well they were barreling towards disaster for a year at least or more, was because one of their institutional investors, the guy that was running a hedge fund at the time, and I can't remember his name, but he's an activist. He said, "Yeah, you guys should stop doing dividends, and you should stop doing them for a long time." And this is a guy who has a lot of money tied up in it because, he knew that, that paying out those dividends, it was going to further hurt the company, because their diluted EPS was just stupid low. I mean, it just kept going down.
They didn't have the free cash flow to support the dividends.
They wouldn't have been able
last
to.
Year.
Wouldn't have been able to anyway. Yeah, exactly. But that's the whole point is they won't get back to paying dividends until, as Chapek said in the last quarterly, that just a few. A week ago or so, a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
Anyway,
2 weeks. Yeah.
That it would be 6 months, and then they would be back to paying dividends. So, 2 more quarters of no dividends. Just
and not only issuing
Now
dividends, not
asleep.
declaring dividends.
I am not asleep. I am 100% here, y'all.
All right, we're gonna get you back into this, brother. I swear to God.
Rob,
Rob,
I'm enjoying this, man. This is fun.
sorry.
all right,
I'm
Rob
good.
Aldridge-
I'm up here. I'm smoking my dividends right now. I hear what y'all talking about.
I got dividends.
Bro, there is no ends to this smoking, bro. All right, okay.
All right,
That's
Rob
what I'm
Altis,
talking
our good buddy, says, Tom, a stream defaults to 144p and 720p is max. This only happens on Mead streams. Well, as far as maybe a throttling problem with it keep bumping back to 144p, that could be. I know I have an issue constantly having to crank up my quality, and I don't know why it should stay at the highest quality. As far as 720p, anybody who doesn't have the big ass $100 a month or whatever, $100 a year, whatever the fuck it is, however,
Like
Yeah,
500 a year for
720, yeah.
StreamYard.
500 whatever it is a year for StreamYard doesn't have 1080p. So it may just because you just happen to notice it here, but there are other people who use OBS or something like that. But since I'm going straight through StreamYard and I have the $20 version or whatever you call it, $100 a year, whatever it is, it's only 720p max. So
Right.
yeah. So that's the case in that. But yeah, you'll notice when I do Mead Radio, it's because I use OBS. It's in 1080p. So we'll see what happens. The main channel has the bigger package, so we can do 1080p on that one too. So that's the other reason. Technical Chat sends in $5. Thank you so much. I'm whiter than sour cream, and Roadblock was my favorite G.I. Joe toy as a kid. I had more adventures with him than anyone. And yeah, that goes to my point is if it's an interesting character, people will buy it.
Yeah.
I can understand that, Perlmutter was probably saying, yeah, black characters don't sell. Well, you probably didn't put anything out there that anybody knew or wanted. And that's why, and you didn't have anything to support it. Like, that's the other problem. So there you go. And then Dash D's comes in again with another $10. Says, with the proportions of Barbie's Hooters, you'd think every boy under 17 would have one in his back pocket. But use it as a fidget spinner, they'd make millions. You're probably not wrong.
Wow. $1 million idea right there.
And Mr. Tickle Trunk says, support the channel? Heck yes. Well, thank you so much for that, Mr. Tickle Trunk. We appreciate that. Trying to catch up with all these because I know we have so many to get through here yet, and I want to get to the next story, and I appreciate you guys coming in, but we were getting way deep in the weeds, and I got so behind. Fred Sacco says, I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy. AKA watch a Disney product. Now you know what it's like when I watch Star Trek. It's going to drive me to drinking with that hot rod Lincoln. Dash D says, my apologies, but I'm not sure which thing you're ing, but
that's pretty recent. So
yeah,
it was probably when VR and I started to go. Yeah,
Oh,
we started to go
Probably.
swimming in the
it
corporate.
made my
garbage.
eyes go cross. I know that.
Sorry.
Listen, one of the things you don't ever expect when you get into the industry is how many aspects of business relationships you have to figure out and understand. It's mind-boggling.
Yeah, and K-Mac, that's a good idea. It's a very good idea. Okay, this other story I wanted to get into first. Y'all know this, like, there's this thing with, like, turning movies into musicals, right? Sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes, most of the time, it don't.
I saw this and I just don't know what to think. About.
The one that kind of recently got me kind of going, okay, whatever, was Back to the Future, right? Like, you're kind of pushing it to me. Just Footloose made sense, Hairspray made sense.
The producers made sense
to a point, yes. And y'all know I love the Karate Kid. But what in the world would possess them to think it would make a good musical?
I'm with you. I don't get this at all. And I am a huge Karate Kid fan. Like, you have no idea like how many times I've watched these movies. I don't get this.
I don't know if I want to hear a wax on, wax off number yet.
Daniel-san, you are learning karate and you are not aware.
Especially with the modern Broadway vibe, I don't know where this is going to go. I really.
It could be great. We don't know. Like, it could be unexpectedly amazing, but
I agree. I can't. Here's the thing. Other movies like you just mentioned that translated into Broadway, when they said, "Oh, it's going to be a Broadway show," I could be like, "Okay, I could see how this works." And I'm married to a professional musician, for God's sake. So I was but this when
kid.
Yeah, when I read this, I'm like,
ninja like Michael Dudikoff. Now, kid, wax on, wax off.
Oh my God!
I just wrote the
Belts
song
for holding up pants.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, Tom. It's like that's the kind of shit. I'm like, how do you translate this into a musical? How do you turn fight choreography? Because you cannot do this without like extreme fighting. Anyway, I'm baffled. I'm totally baffled.
Paint a fence. That's self-defense. Now side to side when there's nowhere to hide.
Oh my
now
God.
stand the floor when you can't do no more.
Well, now we know who the playwright for this is.
This is Tom promoting his own musical.
I know.
I wrote it already, motherfucker.
Tom is apparently the playwright. He's even got the libretto worked out. And holy shit.
Mr. Miyagi, this beats the hell out of me. I'm sick of doing all these chores. You've made me a big old slave.
Sweep the leg. Come on. Sweep the leg.
Who are you trying to save?
Get him a body bag.
Get him a body bag. Yeah, that's the big song of the Get him a body bag. All the fucking Cobra Kai getting into it like fucking get him a body bag, get him a body bag, get him a body bag. Yeah.
This just feels like it's like, oh my God, Cobra Kai is so popular right now. We have to turn this into a Broadway show.
Sake.
That's all I can think of.
Ords, you're high enough. What the fuck, dude?
I mean, I'll be honest, man. Like, this is something I would probably be like, this is gonna be dumb, but let's get baked and go check this out. Like, just out of sheer scientific curiosity. Like, I'm like, let's go check it out.
We gotta go see this for science.
For science, man.
I think I'd be morbidly curious myself. I really,
I think that's the only explanation I can come up with as to why somebody would go see this. Just out of like, really, like
it's gonna be a jukebox musical, guys. Let's be real.
It's like the reason we all went to go watch like what was that, Evel Knievel back in the day, right? Because like there's a chance that he might crash and burn.
Let's be real. They're just gonna take the soundtrack and like the song when they're on the date, instead of it being played in the background, it's just gonna be them two singing it while they dance. And at the very end, just as he's getting the thing is, I'm the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep me down. That's what's gonna happen. I guarantee.
Sing it. No,
that'd be it'll be High School Musical with karate in it. That's
exactly.
That's my fear. If you like actually. No, go ahead.
Okay, I got an idea.
The song playing while they're chasing him in the skeleton costumes is No Shelter. So you're just gonna have the Cobra Kai guys singing No Shelter. It's just gonna be all the songs from the soundtrack. They're gonna add three new ones.
No. Here's what it is: Andrew Lloyd Webber meets Karate Kid. The Cobra with the Kai is here inside my dojo.
No, they're gonna. You know that Miyagi's gonna have a solo, or that it's gonna be telling the time of when his wife died giving birth.
Oh yeah.
Gonna have that sad.
Oh,
It's gonna be
when
to
he
the
was
tune
when he
of
was
the
drunk. Yeah.
Yep.
We want to live in Encino County. We want to live in Encino County. We want to live in Encino. No.
Like, am I wrong that in thinking that if this was to like be done, that like they'd have to take it seriously and like really bring some like classic music to it? And I mean, because I like you were saying with the modern Broadway scene right now, it's like it would just be this big ridiculous glamour show and not something that would like actually have heart and soul in it.
I just
Look, when I reported on this a couple days on the 6 Minute Daily, I was like, this is not a good plan.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you want me to say? This is a bad idea. You
this
can't
is Spider-Man turn off the lights or turn off
or
the
yeah, I mean,
whatever
this
the
is
fuck it was
literally
called.
going to be one of those things that is going to be in and off of Broadway in like 3 minutes. You know,
Naked
it's like,
Fame calls it out here. Next is Requiem for a Dream, the musical.
Oh God, no.
Hellraiser the musical.
Yeah. Your
At the end
soul.
of
I still
Hold on,
want to see
hold on, I
Jason Takes Manhattan the musical.
I got a
'cause
better
that would be
idea.
freaking awesome.
I got a better idea.
Script that might actually work though.
And it have
Yeah, I
great
know,
music
right?
numbers too.
Freddy versus Jason the musical. I don't know.
Oh my lord.
You could really do anything
God.
like that.
Actually, Freddy versus Jason the musical, I'd watch.
What?
Dash
about-
B says,
What about Karate Kid, Les Miserables? At the end of the dojo, there's nothing but trouble.
Well, there you go. Dash D says the guy who came up with this must have seen a Tijuana donkey show, played the music loud, and fuck it hard as you can, and the tickets sell themselves.
Oh God.
I'm not sure where the Tijuana donkey show translates into this,
I mean,
but I guess you just had to bring that to the table. Hillis Mallory says, give them a boot to the head. Boot to the head, na na na. Boot to the head, na na na. Yeah, I don't know if I'm singing it right, but hey,
Classic.
good enough.
Boot to the head. Nah nah. Boot to the head. Nah 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 nah. Boot to the head.
Sander says Alien the musical.
Yeah.
So, Mr.
Stay
Tickle
away
Throat.
from her, you bitch. Stay away from her, you bitch. Mr. Tickle Trunk says, I'm with Ords on this one. Evil Dead musical was amazing. I want cautionary tale sooner or later. Squish, just like grape.
Oh, I saw The Evil Dead when it premiered in Toronto. Very first time. It was this tiny little theater show.
Was it any
Really
good,
fun.
though? See, now that's
Yes, they
ironic
actually have a
enough.
song called "What the F Was That."
See, that's the best part. See, that's ironic enough to make a fucking musical out of, right? Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
And it was a
This
comedy
isn't,
first
though.
too. So.
Yeah. Fred Sacco says Karate Kid 2, the musical Electric Boogaloo. That's almost like mandatory at this
See,
point.
I think part of why that what if you start with the Evil Dead thing, right? I think part of why that works is because it never really took itself seriously to begin with. So
Bingo.
it's
Exactly.
Yeah.
kind of malleable in that sense.
When it kind of goes along with something like, Little Shop of Horrors is maybe the exception to the rules, right? Like that's the one time where, you can say the musical is clearly the better of the two.
Right. Oh my God,
Go ahead.
I got another one. Danielson, superstar. Who in the heck are you gonna kick? Okay, so I'm sorry.
No, you're right. But like other than that, I'm not a big fan of a lot of the ones I listed. Even when they remade Footloose, I was like, "Are you stupid asses? You did a jukebox musical with that shit, and why did you just remake the movie? Why didn't you just make the jukebox musical into a movie?" But anyhow, Naked Fame says Karate Kid would go straight to West Side Story. Miyagi, I just met a guy named Miyagi, and suddenly I see I can do karate.
Wow.
Miyagi,
I'm not gonna sing
I know
that
the
one.
tune. Yeah, I'm not doing
Oh
it.
no! Get your wife to sing that one and just put it like as an audio only on your channel there, Rebellion.
That's a good idea. All right. Mrs.
Orwell says
Renegade might have
Godzilla
to
the
do that.
musical. Well, they did do King Kong the musical, so you're not far off on that one.
Yeah.
You guys in the chat are just bumping, man. I can't keep up with it.
Keep them coming.
Yeah, says you guys could save a lot of money with Geico. No, and just have me on. LOL, my bank just like, oh shit, Dash. Don't do that, man. Seriously. But this episode has been brought to you by Dash Deesh. But I do got to do a fucking members. I'm sorry, guys. It's been so long. We're gonna do karaoke one of these days too. Members can stream karaoke. But all right, let's get into this story real quick. Just kind of see what's
Do it.
In and Out is stage musicals and adaptation, blah, 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 blah. Karate Kid the musical with the book, blah, 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 will be in St. Louis. Yay. May 25th, 2022.
Off, Broadway.
Off.
Oh my God! It's gonna play at the Waffle House Theater on the side of I-40.
Basically.
Hey, that's where Evil Dead kind of got its start, technically.
Yeah,
Similar
there's
situations.
nothing really here about it at all. It is just announcing that it's happening. Good for them.
I'm not even going to tell you about the off thing that I have experienced.
You actually probably reported on the Deadline story. Is there anything more in there, or is that just
no? It's equally as empty as every one of these things are. Look, this is the thing. I mean, that right now it's like instead of news, we report press releases in the trades. So basically, if you're handed a press release or a synopsis by one of these production houses, that's your story, and you might have to move some words around, but that's kind of what you come out with. At least that's what a lot of this reporting is.
You guys are coming up with some fake ones, but here's one that actually would work.
Oh, Batman, that would be great.
That is one I can't believe they haven't fucking done yet, because majority of the story is in one location. There's actually songs within the movie that they do sing along with or sing themselves.
That's true.
And you have already most of the themes there for yourself.
Double secret probation.
Yeah, John Landis ain't doing shit. You get the whole cast singing Animal House. Animal House.
Wait a minute. Oh my God. Wait a minute. There's 6 of us. All we need are like some benchies and we could be like the founding cast.
There you go. Let's do it.
Am I Tim Matheson now?
Yeah. Because I'm Bluto.
Yeah. We just have to get some sunglasses for script, and we got to get a blue toga with a mask because he's an
actually
avatar.
Ords, are you Bluto or are you D-Day?
You decide, buddy.
Honestly, I'd say you're more D-Day, but
okay.
I bet you I could talk you into doing some crazy shit.
Totally. Yeah.
You're D-Day.
Would I be playing fraternity guy in the background, number 11?
You're Flounder. Of course, you're Flounder.
Oh my God, I love to be Flounder. Let's do this.
How else? Who else would he be? I mean, seriously.
Which one is Tom Hulse?
Well, that'd be the other one then. So that'd be either you and Culture would have to have tryouts for it. Warhol says Transformers the music.
I would take Tom Hulse from Amadeus. I don't know about Tom Hulse and Animal House. I don't know if I could pull that one off. So.
Well, then there's the other guy that's with what's his face that was Scripps' character. What the hell is his name?
Oh, I can't remember. Someone has to be Donald Sutherland, right?
Yeah. Well, that would be Andre.
That'd be Andre. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yes, he would be the Donald Sutherland
Would you
character.
like to smoke some pot?
That way he gets to bang Karen Allen.
Oh wow.
Stephen Otten says Cannibal the musical. Oh wait. We could do Hannibal the musical. I ate his liver with some.
Oh yeah, reach out to Brian Brian Fuller and be like, dude, we know you can write a tune. How about Hannibal?
I can't believe they haven't done Hannibal the musical yet. That's another one that almost screams out for a musical in a weird way.
It'd be Song of the Lambs instead of Silence of the Lambs, right?
Yeah.
Wait, we know they couldn't get Hannibal into Clarice on Paramount Plus, but we can get that fucker on Broadway.
That's right. And it's played by Anthony Hopkins again.
Oh my God, my boy,
stage actor. There you go.
My boy James Villanueva in the stream says the Human Centipede the musical.
Oh, good.
It'd just be a bunch of muffling.
No.
Didn't they joke about something like that? I swear that was like a joke in some show. Like they were, I swear.
Probably South Park.
I could have been Fred Sacco, or I'm thinking not Simpsons, but anyway. Fred Sacco says, Ord's World, the musical, singing, and then I got high with Tom playing cowbell.
Yeah, that's about how it's gonna go down when we hang out. So
I'm the Bluto. I'm the Bluto.
Video coming soon.
We figured out he's gonna be the D-Day, so yeah. They took the bar. The whole fucking bar.
Oh man.
We totally should do that.
The Germans bombed Pearl Harbor. Hell no.
I'm telling you, one of these shows we got to show up.
He's on a roll.
Let it go. Yeah.
We're all going to show up on a Toga Day. We're going to have a Midnight Sins After Dark Toga Day this fall.
Let's do it.
Super Mario Brothers the musical. Actually, there was some good music on that soundtrack.
Yep.
Couldn't make that any worse. Oh shit! So that was part of the story, and then we had a Cobra Kai deal that a script sent me, I believe. Let's see here. Cobra Kai creator reveals his rules for successfully rebooting a classic IP.
Oh,
ever since Cobra Kai premiered in 2018, I've heard some version of the following. I can't believe how much I loved your show, because whenever Hollywood attempts to bring back a classic movie franchise, it almost never works out. Well, my co-creators, John Hurwitz and Josh Hild, and I completely understood where that sentiment come from. Having grown up in the 1980s, we are the target audience for many of the repackaged, revamped, rebooted movie franchises we grew up with. I can save you 10 minutes on this article because they actually hired fucking fans. Okay, anyway.
Well, the three guys are the fans. That's the thing.
Exactly my point is because the guys making the show are fans. Anyway, we know what it's like to get lured in by nostalgia only to feel let down by a cash grab that takes advantage of our childhood memories. But that didn't stop us from bringing back one of our favorite movie franchises, The Karate Kid. And now its follow-up, Cobra Kai, has found its success at Netflix and is nominated for an Outstanding Comedy Series Emmy. We want to share our approach to resurrecting classic movies and TV shows. Okay, here we go. Now, there's the guys who know what they're doing, so pay attention, Hollywood. Do treat the original franchise with reverence. Bingo! Rule number 1. Just as you should honor thy father and mother, so should you honor the franchise you are bringing back. Remember, your show would not exist without the original movie. This is not just IP. This is something precious to millions of people. Treat it that way. Now, script.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me one fucking producer in Hollywood who actually believes that.
John Hurwitz, the guy who's in the shoes writing
Besides
the show.
John Hurwitz.
You're not going to find many that have the ability to like write those checks. Not many. You're going to find a lot on the lower tier that'll try to help find financing for your film, but the ones that are actually going to hand over the cash, no, not really. Not many.
Anybody else have a comment to that? But yeah, I think that's a
J.J. Abrams.
no. Fuck that noise. Good God,
like,
Gertie.
Couldn't think of another good answer. I was going to throw
There
out
is
some
no
bullshit
other
for
answer
comedy.
at this point.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to make big changes. Respecting the material doesn't mean you can't be original. Fans don't want to see the same thing they've seen before. Karate Kid fans love Cobra Kai because we took the bully, Johnny Lawrence, from the original movie and made him the underdog of our story. There you go. Look at things from a different perspective.
Well, this is also a very important thing because
Yes.
this is how you separate the fan from the creative, who
Yes.
can be a fan. A fan, yes, they don't want the same thing, but when they're put in charge to create something, they often do create the same thing. That's just a flaw of loving the property that you grew up with. It's very difficult as a fan to divorce yourself so that you can try something new that's risky while at the same time maintaining the quality and the spirit of what made you fall in love with it to begin with. This is part of the reason why a lot of people in Hollywood don't like to hire fans, because they can't divorce themselves from that. It's a very difficult thing to do.
It is.
And when you do put fans in charge, you get, unfortunately, more crap than you do success. What we have here is three guys who are so disciplined in their field of writing that they understood the gravity of their situation and realized, man, we can't just remake The Karate Kid as a TV show. We got to take a risk. How can we do this and not screw ourselves with trying to complete the series?
The funny thing is, though, at the same time, script, you're not wrong. Like, I'm not going to argue with you in any way. But I think the other part, though, is that they, as being fans, they did kind of retell Karate Kid, but in a whole new way.
Well,
Like,
they came at it with the new angle, right? Like, it's not a
Exactly.
straight at remake. That's
Exactly.
the thing.
They turned a lot of it on its head. They subverted a lot of it without being in the negative.
No, they didn't subvert. They just surprised,
Well,
because again,
yeah,
subvert is to
surprise. There you go.
demoralize.
Thank you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
couldn't think of a better word. So yeah, surprise. They surprised us in a lot of ways by, like you said, twisting
would you
things
like?
a little bit, and because you don't stop to think about it until you realize, oh wait, Miguel is Daniel, Johnny is Mr. Miyagi. Daniel-san at first is technically, John Kreese's character.
I don't put on sleeves.
Okay, Ords.
What the hell is that?
I don't
think
know.
That was Mrs.
But no, you're
Is that
absolutely right.
Amber?
Oh,
no,
no,
man, my
was that
shit was
culture?
muted, bro. My shit
Was
was
that
muted.
culture? Oh shit!
Bro,
That was
I'm getting
culture.
high right now, man. Leave me alone.
I thought.
I don't know,
we heard some
but you're
voice on
right.
New Culture
You're right,
than
Tom.
Somebody.
What we see here is like the framework of the relationships, but the motivations are completely different. Johnny is doing this to make money. He doesn't really
Right.
care as much about Miguel, but he starts to respect and like adore this kid that's this surrogate son as he's training him, just like Miyagi did with Daniel. But Miyagi didn't help out Daniel for money or profit. He did it because he saw a kid that needed some guidance. Where Johnny saw an opportunity for money, and then at the same time realized I have to be more than just a sensei to this kid and to the rest of the kids that are coming.
The funny thing is Miyagi and Johnny both come to the same conclusion, which is funny.
Yes.
Because in that is both they feel responsible and they want to they not only feel responsible, but they feel a connection, like an actual human connection. So like there's that aspect that they eventually both come to the same grounds, but in different ways. Exactly.
Yeah, the target's the same, but where they start is different, and that's where you have that fresh injection where that's kind of like the magic to the answer to give me something the same but different. It's like, okay, well, we want these two to be best friends, like father-son surrogate relationship, caring for each other, but we have to make Miguel, the innocent, hopeful kid, and we got to make Johnny the guy who's just down on his luck loser, and they both have to come together to figure each other out and help each other out. And he's like, boom, there you go. There's your same but different.
And then they're smart because then they bring in other aspects because they look at it, okay, well, these characters are now 30, 40 years past the last time we've seen them. They've got kids. What are their kids doing? Where are they at? And they're like, all these questions they had to sit on, like a writer should. Exactly. And that's what works. And that's the big point here. Anybody else want to comment on that before we move on to the next one?
I just want to recognize our new minimum puppy members. We got two.
Please do. Okay, we got 540 Studio. We're gonna give you a minimum effort puppy because he's so adorable. There you go.
Oh, there are those eyes.
And Jace Fox, how you doing?
He's so cute.
We'll give you
What's up,
a
Jace?
Cartman. We're gonna give you a Cartman since we just did a minimum effort.
They're not people, they're hippies.
I was going to say now both of those are Jace actually.
Oh really?
540 is Jace.
Yeah.
Oh well, what? You didn't have to do that, buddy.
Jace is awesome.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's cool, man. You just need one. But
Nada is two.
Naza is two.
Thank you, Jace.
Yeah. Dash D says the lady from the bank asked me to confirm the cost and then asked what it is. After I told her, she asked if that is a real thing. For some reason, I believe you, even though
I understand where she's coming from.
Well, not just that, but I believe him because I had a similar problem with my card from doing so many super chats in a month. My bank froze my card.
Yeah.
I thought it was strange activity or some shit like that. Because it looked like microtransactions or whatever. Naked Fame says the Texas Chainsaw Musical. Sorry, had to. Hail all. See, there's another one that you could almost walk that line with. See, that's the thing is kind of like the Evil Dead one. You just kind of find the ones that lend themselves to the ability to do something like that. Karate Kid just doesn't have that. Back to the Future doesn't have that. Spider-Man didn't have that. Fred Sacco says J.J. Abrams, the musical, just a Spotify playlist remixed with logic and attention span of Abu Radley. You forgot one important thing, Fred Sacco. The lens flare. How is he going to recreate lens flare live?
Giant spotlights on the stage pointing out.
Okay.
With mirrors.
With mirrors, yep.
Dash D says J.J. Abrams, the musical, is just a mystery box. Did you say mystery box? He said mystery box. You guys know what that means, right?
I know what that means. Hit it.
All right.
I finally have it! The one thing to defeat He-Man! I stole it from J.J. Abrams. It's a mystery box!
But what'll it do?
I don't know, it's a mystery box.
What's inside?
I don't know. It's a mystery.
I love those.
Hopefully we'll get some new ones done. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, to finish this, it's just a mystery box that sits on stage sucking dollar bills out of the audience. There you go. I just had to give you that one. I love my little humans.
Yeah, that's fun, man. That's cool. I like that.
I got to get some Bat Toms out of you. We got to do some Robin ones.
Mystery date. I mean, Bob.
You already wrote a song for it. There you go. And okay, next, moving on, because I think there's quite a few of these, but this is a very good article, and I'm glad Script brought it to me. Do create new characters to enrich your story, just as I was just saying, and reach younger viewers. If that's true and you want to attract younger audience, it helps to have a younger cast. New characters can bring fresh energy and perspective to your franchise, but, so I kind of already pointed that out, right?
Yep, but go to the next one because it coincides.
Yes, and I was going to say that's the best part is it goes right on to the next one. Don't forget about the original characters or your older audience. Bingo! Sure, you want to lure the younger audience, but first you must win over the hardcore fans who made your franchise a success. I don't think anybody can argue with that, right?
Respect the foundation with which was built.
Yes, right?
You can bend it a little, you can add some cool things on top of it, but so long as you're not trying to break it in half, you should be A-okay.
Oh, man. Makes sense. Maybe it makes too much sense. I don't know.
Indeed it does. Mike, Ords, Valiant, anybody else?
I'm with you. I like this
Culture.
article. Keep going.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm
glad this is in the
more
Hollywood
of a curiosity at this point.
I mean, this is like, are we actually having some important, actually accurate and relevant like education going on out of a Hollywood trash bag?
You're right. Well,
what's weird is that he's dictating suggestions and guidelines that have been talked about in the industry since before I even started.
Good God,
like, these are things that I've learned as I was learning my writing craft and all that other and all the other stuff of the industry happenings. It's like this is how you kind of have to do it, and it kind of came out of the Star Trek camp because I did intern at Viacom and Paramount Studios where some of these rules were spoken about. And Culture, you're manually muted on your end, I think.
No. I didn't. I was like trying to, I'm trying not to have a conniption fit going, duh, like every single one of these things. So it's like, do you realize, and this is the problem when you get rid of the old people in favor of the kids that don't have any experience or understanding or knowledge or respect or any of these other terms that they should have for this stuff. It's, I mean, institutional memory, you need it. You need an understanding. You need people that can mentor younger people coming in the industry. This is the information that they all need to have coming in the door at every level, not just the writers. If you're a producer, you should know this. If you're a freaking executive, you should know this. If you are in the friggin' accounting office, you should know this. I mean, even Mike would know this.
Even the Mexicans should know this.
That's what I said.
That's what he just said.
Not exactly that way, but yeah. But it's just again, the biggest surprise is what Mike just said a couple minutes ago, which is it's in the friggin' Hollywood Reporter.
Oh, I thought it was something else.
Oh, well, no.
No, I'm kidding. I knew that. No, and Mecca J points that out here. This is the type of article that the media should be putting out. I agree. You're right on the button there, Culture and Mike. I agree with you guys 110%. And I love Culture's hair. I want it. It will be mine. Oh, yeah.
Okay, this is getting awkward again, and Jesse's not even here.
All right, moving on. Do use nostalgia to draw your audience into the story. Classic movies like The Karate Kid have been rewatched on VHS, DVD, cable so many times. I've said that how many times? That people remember certain lines and certain scenes more vividly than their own childhood memories. Exactly. Calling back these moments can have a huge emotional impact. But I think Script would agree with me here. You got to be careful how you do it. They have to be clever and not just thinking yourself being clever, right? Like you can
you got to find a new way to do it because it goes straight into the next one.
All right. Well, I'll just move on to that one then. Great. Don't rely on nostalgia. Call back and bring back memories, but they don't tell a story. Even hardcore fans will tune out if they aren't hooked onto a that's all.
Compelling plot.
Compelling plot. If I can talk, it's a lot of pages. With great characters, the key is using nostalgia to create something new and exciting. Creed's a great example of this as well. You know, especially Creed 2. I love how they elevated so much more with that one. And Cobra Kai's a great example.
With arms wide open under the moonlight.
Okay, you need a stick just announcing the Monster Truck Show.
All right, I'm gonna go jump off the roof now. Thanks, guys. It's been
When was he announcing the
Wasn't that
Monster Truck
Creed?
Show?
You said Creed.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Culture. You killed Ords.
Yeah, way to go. How do you feel about that, buddy? Enjoy your conscience on that one there.
You killed him.
And he didn't do it in a video game either. So
Nah, it's cool.
This was not even in Minecraft.
I'm just eating Lay's chips. And dip.
I guess I could like sing like My Own Prison. Is that better?
I mean,
Creed?
okay. It is a better record, but no, that's not okay.
No, that's just a threat from them.
Yeah.
No, Ords, we'll have to have you back when Jesse's around. It's so much more exciting. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
and then you could be Jesse's girl.
No, I'm having a fucking blast, bro.
Oh wow, thanks a lot, Tom. Nice.
Oh, I know. We're just doing all the like nerdy talk here, and Ords is like wanting to have some fun. That's why he came on me.
I am having fun, bro. I'm hanging out with my homies. I'm eating Lay's and Funyun dip, and I'm baked, bro. Let's do this shit.
Mr. Tickle Truck, he's like, hurry it up. Get through
Those be some baked Lays.
What you guys don't realize, the
Yes.
reason now that Jesse's not here, I got Ords in the back doing drywall and landscaping and cleaning the pool.
Oh God!
Yes, it's true.
Yeah, because he's
It's
not
true.
making you do shit. Mr. Tickle Trunk says, put up a sign, 0 days since Tom tried to shave and steal Culture's hair. Not it's sure. Fine, you win. I think we got this one. Yes, we did.
Yep.
Just making sure I didn't miss any, because we didn't miss this one yet. No, we got that one. We got that one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're good. Okay.
You just got
Mr. Tickle just hit this one though.
a new one from Mr. Tickle Trunk.
Yes. Also, if Ords was any more laid back, his heart would stop. Culture Casino now has a second superpower.
That's right. That's what happens. It's like the quickening, only different.
There can be only one. All right, so let's get back into this. Do ask yourself, why now? I have a feeling this is important. You'll be asked this question many times in Greenlight process, so you might as well have an answer. And this is something they brought up a couple times in their other interviews. For Cobra Kai, our answer was that bullying is more relevant today than ever. And we wanted to explore that topic by re-examining Johnny, one of the most iconic bullies in movie history. And then they go into don't overthink why now, though. There's a reason for the franchise. There's a reason your franchise is a classic. Most likely, it taps into something universal and timeless. So while it helps to give your story some social relevance, you also want it to be relevant to 20 years from now. Exactly. Focus on the classic themes that will stand the test of time. I think that's a very important.
That's huge. That's what we always,
exactly.
We've talked about with all these movies these days. There's no timeless element to any of this anymore. When you keep feeding things full of 2020, 2021 politics, social culture, and all this, it is not going to last very long. That's one of the brilliant pieces of Star Wars and things like Indiana Jones and all these great Back to the Future even. Shit, and it had a freaking clock on it, and it's still timeless.
Yep.
You literally had a clock for all three movies in that, and it's still timeless.
Absolutely, I agree.
They have lost this art form in Hollywood so much.
And we're almost done here.
Well, the other part too is that only the greatest movies are the ones that are timeless. And when you take a look back at the whole pantheon of film, you kind of realize that not a whole lot is as timeless as you wish it were. But there's some significant ones that do stand out, and that's the ones we love and revere.
Well, the Oscars are a good example of that, because how many of the Oscar winners every year are remembered 20 years after the fact? Very, very few. They're remembered for winning an Oscar. A lot of them, that's about all they're remembered for, right?
Yep.
You know,
the English Patient. How many people still talk about the English Patient? Come on.
I can't even tell you what won the year 1975, but Jaws probably should have. Same thing with 77.
I remember Ray Fiennes was in the English Patient. I remember that.
Oh Lord, but no,
you were dating your wife at the time, weren't you?
Whatchamacallit, Annie Hall was the winner, but
pretty close script.
Everybody's still like Star Wars should have won clearly, but anyway, moving on with this, and this is Hayden Schlossberg, by the way, who's saying this. I should have said that up front. Do have a long-term plan about where you're taking the story. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. In the event of success, there will be demand for another season or sequel, and you want to be ready. With Cobra Kai, we purposely waited until the very end of the first season to bring back a fan favorite, villainous Sensei John Kreese, because we wanted to give the fans something to be excited about for season 2. Again, Script, this is something that goes back to classic television, right?
Yep.
You set yourself up with a stinger for whatever's to come next, and that
If
gets
you're doing if you're doing something like your hour-long dramas, it's usually a good idea to figure out how far you can take the story. Number one, to see if it has legs, and number two, so that when someone says, "Okay, what happens next after this?" Pivotal milestone or turning point, you have the answer to it. Like Cameron has said on this channel and on Midnight's Edge that whenever he comes with a show, he plans out for the first 5 seasons. That's pretty much standard operating procedure for some of the better writers in Hollywood. Yeah. Sadly, in most cases now, it's usually they plan for 1 season because statistically speaking, it's most likely going to be canceled. So, yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate because you want to plan for the long term, because if you're planning for the long term, you're creating cliffhanger moments, and hopefully if the characters ring true with your audience, they're invested in those cliffhangers, so they want to come back, and hopefully that generates further shows and further development of your story.
Right. As a fan, like I love those moments at the end of a show that leave you on a cliffhanger where you're both excited to see it and happy that that it went down the way it did, but then mad that you can't know what's about to happen right away.
Exactly.
Like that's how you know it's a good cliffhanger.
But not only that,
yeah.
I was going to say, even a show that could do it just on its own without it being the end of a season was Deadwood, right? Like every episode, I'm like, holy shit, I want to see the next fucking episode. I got to wait a fucking week.
Deadwood did that, and season 2 of Daredevil on Netflix did that. The first half, every episode ended with a cliffhanger that was like, you got to see the next one. Thank God it's bingeable, or else you'd be clawing at the walls until the next one came out.
And this show, to a lesser extent, is too, even between episodes. But that just helps because it's kind of all one story they're telling in one shot. But again, I think that's a very important thing that they overlook nowadays. That is, like, I think the original article I read where they were talking about it, the original plan was they planned for 3 seasons, but but just in case they had story ideas left over for season 4 and 5, and that's where we're at right now. So, I mean, things have been really good to this point. I hope it doesn't go off a cliff, of course. But I'm really invested because, as you guys know, I'm one of the few fans of the 3rd film. So I'm liking where things are going here.
Yeah, you are way out there on Fandom Island with that one.
Yes, I know. I mean, I love the
second film. It wasn't as good as the first 2, but I agree with Tom. I don't mind the 3rd film so much. I mean, I can watch it. It's not as fun. Honestly, look, with the Karate Kid, the first one was great, but I loved the second one. I loved the whole Okinawan as much as I did the first one.
I look at the first 2 Karate Kids like The Godfather 1 and 2.
Yes, that's a great one.
You can't have one without the other, but the second is just as good as the first.
Yep. I agree.
Except, unlike with The Godfather Part 3, Karate Kid Part 3 is not as quotable as Karate Kid 1 and 2.
You're probably right about that, except for, I don't know, that's arguable enough with some of the shit that fucking...
But I like Godfather Part 3.
I still don't have Karate Kid Part 2 in 4K. Hinty, hint, movie studios. Get this done.
Yes, and I know at least 2 and 3 have been scanned because they needed them for season 3 of Cobra Kai.
Yes, they have.
The Richard says, I personally feed upon nostalgia for better or worse. I love to zone out and paint from all my favorite movies. I don't care. Paint what I want. Go ahead. Yeah, that's a great thing.
He sent us something for you and me, Tom.
Look at that. Oh,
why?
Wow.
Who can say why so serious, Clarice, on a Joker voice?
So serious, Clarice.
Yeah, I mean, I can give you Hamill's Joker, but that's about it.
Go for it.
Oh, you really got to put me on. Okay. Why so serious, Clarice? That's right, the Joker here. Hello, Valiant Renegade. How are you?
It's pretty good.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Of course, we have Mexican Iron Man here. Very nice.
When did you get out of Arkham?
Oh, dear God, not Bat Tom again. Hold on.
Hold it.
This is the next 10 minutes of the show, folks. Strap in.
That's right. The next 10 minutes of the show it is. Oh, God. Bat Tom is here.
Where?
This isn't good. Right there. Look at the mirror, you dope.
I forget it. I'm bad time sometimes.
Oh, dear God. Of course you do.
So cool.
How does this guy stop me every time I try to do something?
Because I'm smart. I'm like the world's greatest detective.
I don't know. I think
I
that
know what
Robin
you're gonna
has
do
something to do
before
with
I
it.
know what I'm going to do.
I don't know how to answer that.
Neither do I. That's why I hate Riddler. He's always asking me stupid questions.
Now that's one thing we agree on, Bats.
I know.
The
That's
Riddler
why I
is
like hanging out with you more. Because, like, he's always like, what does this mean? If this means something, it's like, fucking Christ. I didn't know there was going to be a quiz. I like making Joker laugh. He's good at it. Oh, crap.
Oh, no.
I thought I told you to stay upstairs.
Oh, sorry. I can't seem to find my pants.
Well, it's because you don't have any.
Well, that's the point. I can't find them, so I have
only
none.
So much protective gear left over. I figured it's either protect your heart and schlong or your legs.
I
When
mean,
I
like,
told you guys in the audience that this was the next 10 minutes of the show, I wasn't
they all
fucking
left.
around.
yeah, Valiant Renegade's got a point there.
And we lost like 20 people. So
Let's finish up the article, I guess.
as
All right, then.
Aurora Uplink says, is anybody bothered by the collapse of Afghanistan? Yes. But
We're trying to distract you from that, but
exactly.
we feel for all the people that shouldn't be stranded there. That's for
do
sure.
not want to get down that political rabbit hole right now. Seriously.
Oh, sorry, guys. I apologize for the ADD.
No, it's fine. I have the same problem. Back to this article now that we lost 20 people. Dash D says, I don't even remember my best man, truthfully. I'm pretty sure I should have married the man of honor. That's not a good thing. Yeah, rip viewer count. Sorry. Bat Tom does that sometimes.
They didn't like
I love Bat Tom. What's not to love about Bat Tom?
It's not for everybody.
People were invested in the article, I
They
think.
were invested in the article, and I pissed them off.
All right.
To be fair, it was my fault. I did say I could do it in the Joker.
Well,
It was like laying the worst. It was like laying the worst fart in a room, and you cleared it. Congratulations.
I'm sorry. We have to kind of hold a little bit of Mexican Iron Man responsible because he did point us out to the tweet beforehand. But I'm sorry, Mike. I'm not teasing you. We love you.
No, I have to take full responsibility. It's my ship. I'm the captain. I should have. I kept it going.
Well, good news is here on the ship, thanks to Ord's work, that you now have new drywall and new paint job in your cabin. So, yeah.
There you go, buddy.
Anyway, goes on because this is the last three here. Don't assume, and I like this one because this is a big deal. Don't assume your audience is going to stick around until the end. As important as it is to have a long game, you need to win over the audience very quickly. Otherwise, they will move on to one of the 70 trillion other options they have. Not just that. Look at how Star Wars, Star Trek, all these franchises, Doctor Who and whatnot, have all suffered from ignoring their core fan base and getting them hooked, right? And not just the core fan base, but the new fan base as well, because there is no new fan base for most of these things. So I think that's a very important point. I don't know if Script wants to expand on that at all, but
no, absolutely. Like, that's the one part too, is that you cannot guarantee on an audience. You can hope that you're going to do well. You can hope that they're going to like it based on whatever information you manage to gather and the stuff that you're structuring to try and deliver the best thing you can. But even if you get lucky enough to have that first hit in season one, you have to kind of humble yourself and remember that you can't just rely on them to come back and just coast, as it were, with the rest of the series. You got to think about it long term, and you have to realize that some fans you're going to lose, some fans you're going to gain, and just accept it and not try and be bittered by it, because it is a tough thing to do.
absolutely. And these last 2 points are the main points here, and they go together. They spring off of this last point, but they go together like peanut butter and chocolate, peanut butter and jelly, what have you. But I'm going to grab these super chats real quick. Werewolf says, I have this bizarre idea for a version of Superman who loves to kick his enemies in the nuts and tells them he'll do it before he does. That sounds like something Bat Tom would do. I'm going to kick you in the nuts.
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking of Super Cartman right now. I'm gonna kick you in the nuts. That's all I
Fred
can do.
Tackle says, Jesus, who put a nickel in Orange? No, I love it when Orange wakes up. I don't care if we lost. We lost 100 viewers. As long as Orange and I are having fun.
Did we really lose
Who put a
100?
nickel in orange?
No, we didn't.
What nickel? What are you talking about, man? I mean, you got a
nickel bag?
You got a nickel bag, bro? Yeah, it's for reals, man. I mean,
Hey, Script, we didn't lose 100. We lost 87.
I think Orange needs a dime at least.
Hey,
Dime.
Orange.
what?
Similar to Kathleen Kennedy, we may not be renewing your contract.
Oh, that's.
Real quick, Brian
I'm
Barth.
kidding. I love you.
Hold
I'm
on.
kidding.
But we will sing your praises even though we don't renew your contract.
Wait,
I
hold
will
on,
say
hold
this-
on, guys.
Okay,
what's
go
what's a contract?
Moving on.
It's the thing you do with papers other than smoke with them.
Oh, well, that's all. That's the only papers
Well,
I fuck with, baby.
I figured. Bryant Barth, we actually talked a little bit about this earlier in the stream. So if you're late to the stream, go ahead and scan back. But yeah, a lot of people involved in the Me Too movement, or the big people up, are kind of under
fire.
I was going to say under fire. I was going to go there, but then I'm like, I was going to go under the microscope more so right now. Things are really kind of stirring up. But yeah, back up if anything, and you'll get our take on that a little bit more. I don't want to get into it anymore here because we're actually knee deep in this article. We're just about out. But let's finish it up because these are the two most important points, and I know Script is going to agree with me, and everybody else is going to say the same thing. No, we've been saying this for the last 5 years. But no, this is why I love these guys, because they fucking get it. Do respect, encourage, and engage your fandom. The best part about working on a famous franchise is that there is a built-in fan base already. Bingo! Do what you can to turn that fan base into a community. Get them hyped up. Show them you listen and encourage their creativity and passion. Great example of that is how they handled Sonic. Don't argue with the fans. Most important point. There's nothing more futile than trying to convince fans who didn't like something that they are wrong. Oh, we have a genius here. Jesus, please, everybody, listen to this. If there is a division in the fan base, let the fans argue amongst themselves. Yes.
There you go.
That is part of the fun.
It's like we got a Hollywood Reporter article that is teaching 5-year-olds how to be 6-year-olds. I mean, this is like what this is
written by
is like
Hillsboro
basic
after
shit.
talking
I
with
do
these
not
guys.
understand. I'm sorry, Script. Go ahead.
No, this is an article written by Hayden Schlossberg after talking with Josh Harold, John Hurwitz, and the rest of the team over at Cobra Kai. I mean, it's just like remember it's an opinion column, so it's not actually an article, but it's a really important one. It's one that's pretty much saying, people asking, why is Cobra Kai this good, and they're just saying, here's our reasons.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I think the article itself is brilliant, and just so nobody misunderstands what I'm trying to say here is that I think the fact that this article has to be written, it's dead on balls accurate. The fact that an article like this has to be written with just basic common sense, or sense that was common 20, 30 years ago in Hollywood, that we have to put this article out, or they feel compelled to put this article out, and I'm glad they did it, because there is no goddamn common sense anymore out there. I mean, it's sad that this article has to be written to teach these fucking morons the basic principles of you have a built-in market already that has wallets full of money. And if you give them a good product that they already enjoy, well, son of a bitch, they'll open those suckers up and spend that money on us. I mean, it's amazing the level of stupidity and ignorance in Hollywood these days, that this kind of article has to actually get published in the Hollywood Reporter. Like I said, I'm glad they did it, but oh my God.
Honestly, I don't think they're listening to us, Rob Altus, but if they were, I would love to talk to these guys. I would tell them to keep doing what you're doing. You're doing everything right. You guys need to get out there in Hollywood and tell these guys what you're doing wrong and how to do it. Because this is everything that every single writer, director, producer, actor, all above and below the line need to fucking read in Hollywood right now. And I'm so glad Script brought this to my attention.
Yes, thank you,
Yeah.
Script.
Well, the other part too is like these guys are going to lead by example because nothing gets more people's attention than a successful show or film where they're not talking to anybody other than to the reporters and to their fan base, and they're just raking in the dough. Everybody's going to be like, we got to do what they're doing, and that's how the industry sadly works. They follow the trends when someone takes a risk to actually do something right.
Good. This is a trend I want them. We all need them to follow this trend.
Well, and at the same time, VR, they're actually this is actually one of those weird things. Consider that this show moved from YouTube Red over to where it is now, and it did because it was a good show and it had fans. It just that particular experiment by YouTube did not work. And so, it found a home and its fan base moved right along with it and support it, right behind it. And again, I mean, I love this kind of success because as Script said, this will, encourage others to mimic said success.
Yeah. And Dash D says, Mr. Renegade, what is the sense of common you speak of? As Script Doctor calls it, it's called super sense now.
Yeah, let me help you with that. Mr. Renegade, hold on, let me redo that for you, Tom. Mr. Renegade, what is this sense of the common you speak of?
I like that. That's good. TARDIS Zone.
We were just
Andre and I were hanging out there this afternoon talking to the TARDIS Zone.
I love that guy.
Thank you so much for stopping in, Noel. We appreciate you being here. He says the Bible for how to get a franchise right. I agree.
Yeah, I
agree 110% with that. There was another comment I wanted to grab here. Where'd it go?
Hey, guy. Oh, hey, I want to remind everybody right now. Just real quickly, set your calendars. Write this down. On Sunday, September 19th, CBS will host the Emmys, and almost everybody else on the planet will watch something else.
No shit, right? And if anybody needs to check out, let me know. But I really wanted to get Script's take on this because I think the Medieval Man is right, but there's another point that needs to be made here. I think Medieval Man says we're talking about a group of people that rely on adapting previously written material for stories because they can't write original stories anymore. Partially that's true for a lot of these people in Hollywood, but I think Script would tell you, and unless I'm wrong, please correct me if I am, that there's plenty of original stories that you would love to tell. They're just not fucking interested in them.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Like, basically, you can come up with an original science fiction or original drama or whatever, and then whoever you're pitching it to is like, great, who would buy this? And you're like, what? What do you mean? It's like, well, what's the angle? How do I sell this? How do I get people going to theaters? It's like, well, I'm telling a deeply personal story about something that's kind of commonplace. That's a universal experience we all have. And it's like, that's not
Does it got Batman in it?
Yeah, it's like, was it based off a book? Is there a song? Is there a comic book? Is there is it based off a TV show? Like, basically, advertisers and producers in town are looking for the path of least resistance in order to make sure this thing sells. And when you come up with an original idea, that is the most resistant you're going to get. Resistant kind of take you're going to get, because everybody's going to be like, I'm not going to invest money on something that is unproven. And that's basically a sad portion of the big budget studios at this point. And they're not 100% wrong, because when you take a look at all the movies that do come out, even if they are somewhat original, if they have a somewhat okay marketing plan behind them, they're kind of like a one and done. Rarely are they ever like franchise starters, unless the studio really, really wants to push it for whatever reason they have. I could come up with an original science fiction idea and they could love it, but they're like, if you don't have a named star attached to this thing, we're not investing in it, because we can't even market it on its own merits. We have to market it through the main star, which is why you see like Tom Cruise delving into 4 different science fiction franchises in like 10 years, because he wants to get into science fiction, but it just never works out for him. The only thing he's got is Mission Impossible, and that's it.
There you go. So I think that's because I thought that would be your take on it for the most part, because I was just having the similar conversation with Noel over at TARDIS Zone earlier, where I was basically saying just that, like, the typical thing when I say, like, they used to be embarrassed by sequels and reboots and remakes. They never used to do that kind of crap so much. Wasn't until recent years. And then, this whole idea of, is it an IP? Is it something we can sell? Is it a franchise? Is there 5 movies in it? They don't give a shit about something original unless it's something like that, and it's something they can get people in with a hook, basically.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's just the easiest way to sell it. That's all they care about right now. There's no creativity in the marketing department anymore.
Nope.
That's what's really sad. And if that changed, like I've told other people into industries, like if you find an advertising firm, a small one, that is willing to like use imagination to sell something and do it well, they will take over the industry within a year.
Yeah, because there's nobody in the ad game anymore that can do it. No, you're not wrong, Script, and it's pretty obvious by the the cut and paste kind of advertising crap that we're seeing. Various campaigns, whether they be physical media campaigns, which are not that many of anymore, or the video stuff. No, you're 1,000%.
Poor Wolf. Me. My story is about a superhero. Producer, what does he do? Me. He kicks enemies in the nuts, and he tells them he'll do it before he does. Producer dies laughing for a minute. Get out.
Yeah, actually, that would be a situation, especially if you got a good comedy. They'll be like, "That's brilliant. That's great. It won't sell overseas because it won't translate in other languages. Sorry."
Can you put Batman in it?
Yeah, probably.
Dash D says, "Hey, Script, The Expanse was kind of new and breaking. It was a leap, or was it a leap of faith to get it going, or has it a path of least resistance, as you were saying?" Well, wasn't The Expanse based on a book series, though, too?
It's based on a book series, and Sci-Fi decided to give it the minimal budget because Sci-Fi does not invest in things, and it was absolute luck and smart on Amazon's part to pick up that series because it would have gone away to obscurity if they didn't do it.
Yeah.
Well, and yeah, I mean, and the only reason the Orville got off the ground is because it's tied to somebody who's been successful with everything he's done.
Yes.
So it's you don't have a lot of paths to success in the mainstream industry, which is why you're going to see more and more independent things rise out of the ashes of this. And I guess the decade of or 2 decades of loss that we've had.
Yeah, and just okay, like think of the people in the chat here who have been following the channels that we have. If they can start naming off all the studio heads and executive producers that they know of, they're probably lucky if they get under 20 people. And that just shows you how small some of those most powerful names are and what they're making decisions of with regards to entertainment. But there's so many more than those names, and the reason you don't hear about them is because they haven't risen to that level of money makers yet. And that's a very difficult thing to do.
Well, I mean, you only really know some of these names because of the giant deals that they've signed.
That as well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody loosely follows the trades, I mean, they're going to be like, okay, well, I can name 6, but that's probably it. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, there's the executive level people. I mean, some people could probably, spill off a bunch of Warner Brothers people, but that's only because they've been dominating the weird studio news for the last year and a half.
Well, I want to address this one here. Slithering Peanut says, no, in the 80s, Hollywood became a sequel and reboot machine. It's how they made billions of dollars. No one wants anything new, just more of the same. I think there's a caveat to that. First of all, there's only like a handful of remakes in the 80s, and we just remember them because they were good.
Yep.
But it was just a small handful, like Scarface, The Thing.
Now it's the default. It's become the default.
Fly. Anybody can think any more offhand? I can't think of too many more.
Oh, The Blob.
The Blob. Okay.
Yeah.
But see, and then okay.
Well, technically, The Thing in the 80s was a remake.
That's what I just said. Yeah.
Oh.
And but the thing is The Blob, that was late 80s, and then I was going to say the late 80s became more of the sequelitis, right? That was when and they did do a lot of sequels in the 80s. Don't get me wrong.
But they were more into like the direct-to-video and marketing first window cables, TV, and all that stuff. Like they just wanted to push it out.
Prior to like Star Wars and stuff like that, the only franchise that really had a shit ton of sequels outside of monster movies was like
James Bond
and James Bond.
Like in like Flint, which is a parody of James Bond, only had 2 films.
I mean, they did do sequels once in a while, but like outside of that, like my main point is like the Friday the 13th movies. Paramount was fucking embarrassed as hell by them, but they made a shit ton of money. That's why they kept making more of them.
Yeah, horror films were great for sequels.
Yeah,
horror films were great for sequels. Yeah,
same thing with Police Academy for Warner Brothers. They were embarrassed by how many they made, but and that's why in the in the 90s they got to that point where they quit using the numbers and they just started using fucking subtitles and shit.
Guilty pleasure, Police Academy.
Hey, I
I was
love
gonna
them.
say
I fucking love them.
guilty pleasure. I at 1 through 6.
I mean, you're not wrong, Slithering Peanut, but I don't think it's nearly to the extent that it got when you got past the 90s, because the 90s were all about rebooting and reinvigorating 50s and 60s and 70s TV shows.
Yeah, I think they did a couple of Dean Stockwell original films with like Sandra Bullock back in the late 90s and early 2000s.
And then after that craze fell off, then it became the reboot craze. Yeah.
Yep.
And that kind of got killed by the superhero craze, thank God. Not that they're still not attempting, don't get me wrong, but the amount of remakes and stuff like that is like astronomically much more in the last 10 years than it was back in the 10 years of the 80s.
Well, there's more smaller studios now that are able to pump out more content. So yeah, we're getting like 3-4 times the movies a year, or at least prior to the pandemic, 3 to 4 times movies a year that we would decades before. So
yeah. Dash D says, "Hey, script, The Expanse was kind of new." Oh, yeah, you got this.
We did that one. There's one more, right?
He did have a different one though. Here we go. Rachel in accounting was a very powerful head. That's why she went to all the after parties that had tequila. So there. Okay. I don't know if that's a reference to something.
I know. I'm trying to think. I'm like wrecking my brain here.
It sounds familiar, but then again, it's Dash D. So
Dash, give us an explanation real quick in the chat.
And Slithering Peanut, they had tons of them, but no sequels until the 90s, man. There was only one Terminator.
There's 5 years between Terminator 1 and 2, right?
Yeah. So. Actually 6, I think it was, because didn't Terminator 2 come out in 90 or 91?
91.
So yeah, 6 years.
Terminator 2, so yeah.
6 or 7 years almost.
And then it took another 8 years for Terminator 3.
And here's a bad idea, Sander. Here's one that would go in the bad idea bin. And I'm not so sure on this would go in the maybe bin.
Oh,
you got the
write original music for it.
Wait. No. Yeah. Can I sing? Can I be? I want to be Sean Connery's part. Can I do that?
Ramirez? Sure, go for it.
Connor's the one who's going to be singing "Who Wants to Live Forever."
No. You know which one we need to do, Tom? I got it. I got the winner of the night. Born in East LA, the musical.
Done. It's in the movie.
Yes, that works.
It's definitely in the movie.
It's already definitely in the movie. No backsies on that one. Yeah, we're gonna wrap things up here. But Mr. Tickle Trunk says, any way to lie to get something new made?
Technically,
it's a good question.
So oddly
like
enough,
maybe Basic Instinct the musical.
Yeah, gosh. Yes. So oddly enough, there's so Disney Plus was looking to do a reboot for Turner and Hooch, and Matt Nix gave them a pitch. And after they had greenlit the pitch, he managed to subvert, not really subvert, but not really surprise either, but kind of slip in that this is actually a sequel to the original movie in '89. So basically, he kind of pulled one over on Disney, but they already liked the take so much by the time they saw the pilot that they didn't care at that point anymore.
Sometimes it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
It's very true.
Yeah, it's sometimes yeah.
And Brian Hepburn, yeah, great point. There was 2 Dirty Harry sequels in the 70s and 2 in the 80s. But note about the Dirty Harry sequels, they're not called like Dirty Harry 3, right?
They're just their own individual titles.
See, those are a little bit more prestigious as opposed to like the Death Wish films, which cranked out a buttload of them, mostly in the latter 80s when Cannon got the rights. Mr.
Bronson just wanted to keep on shooting criminals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got into my domain.
That was his paycheck.
You believe in Jesus? Yeah. Well, you're going to meet him.
Mr. Tickle Trunk says, Ords, you awake? Do us a favor. Never change.
That's right, baby. You know me.
Ords will never, ever change.
Never.
He better not. Well, he better change his underwear anyway.
Oh, I knew I forgot to do something today. Shit. Damn it.
Ords, have you ever seen Realistic Mario?
No. Oh God!
I mean, I did have a guy perform surgery on me that looked like Mario once, but no.
That is what we're closing the show.
We're closing out on Realistic Mario, kids. A classic. Here we go.
Perfect.
It's the fan. It's the Captain Louis. Mario, what happened? Luigi, I hit the block. I hit it with my head. Why did you hit the block? I thought there'd be a single gold coin. Some of them have coins. Really? No! Luigi, no!